Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Straightforward Farming Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Reed, alongside Nick McCormick, as always.
We're back.
We are back. Coming off of a good podcast with old Hondo and Red Power Stew. Had pretty good feedback on that, I think. So,
Absolutely. Raised the price of Toyota Dualies by 50%.
yeah, we did. Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Seemed like with more people, it always flows better. You know,
Yeah.
the conversation keeps going. And yep, that was a good time. And it sounds like Hondo's going to start his own
Yeah.
podcast here. I'm not sure when they're going to get it off the ground and going, but I think he's getting all geared up, ready to do that. So that'll be good.
Sounds that way.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
yep. What's new in your world? Anything good?
Now, just getting ready for Christmas, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. Coming right up. Today's the 19th.
I believe so. Yeah, I think so.
20th. Today's 20th, Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday 20th. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yep, it's creeping up on us.
Yeah, it is. Supposed to be a balmy 60 degrees on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we've already had our 20 and 30 below this year wind chills, and now it's going to be warm on Christmas. So
Yeah, which I don't need it to be 30 below again. I'm good with that.
yeah, I could do without that. So
Yeah.
yep. So what do you think here in the great state of Illinois? We're going to be on the hook for this new football stadium in Chicago, you think? Chicago Bears wanting to leave?
I'm kind of hoping they move to Indiana.
Yeah.
Let those guys pay for it.
That's kind of what I thought.
I mean, we only owe, what, $530 million on Soldier Field?
Yeah.
That I was adamantly against when they
Yep.
did it. Because why would you remodel a relic at that point? Like we all knew this was going to come
Yeah.
when they did it the first time. And I know you'll find this hard to believe, but the Bears paid their part, but the state of Illinois has not come up with their half.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah,
No
I know
way.
it's hard to believe.
No way.
Hard to believe.
Don't believe that for a minute.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Let them go. That's fine. Indiana can have it.
I made a comment or a post on Facebook about it. You know, I figured we was going to get stuck with it, and a few people were like, no, the Bears already said they're paying 100% of it. I was, yeah, you just wait and see.
Yeah.
I've seen this 100
They
times.
paid their part. In their defense, they did pay their part. But supposedly they were going to give us a $25 million parting gift, which seems like a lot just to say, hey, bye.
Yeah.
But
To you and I, it's a lot, but in the realm of government, it's
yeah, it's nothing.
30 minutes of operations.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, like I said, I was against remodeling that stadium when it did, which if I remember right, that deal failed 2 or 3 times, and then they finally got it passed.
It could
That's
have.
my bitch about all those bills like that.
Yeah, and we even see it locally.
Absolutely. It should have to pass as many times as it's failed.
Agreed.
You know?
Yeah, it fails 4 times. No, we don't want it, but they pass it once, and yep, you're stuck with it.
We've seen the same thing, like I said, locally, whether it's the school or the county or whatever, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think that taxpayers should be on the hook for stadiums for sports teams anyway.
I don't either.
How about you lower the ticket prices and don't pay those guys $100 million?
Yeah.
I mean, how about that?
Man, that's something that, and I don't follow sports at all. I truly don't. The only sports I follow is when I see snippets of it on TikTok or the local news or whatever. You know, they'll mention somebody signed for a big paycheck, and it's like, Jesus criminy. Like I remember back when we were kids, you know, like a $10 million salary in baseball, basketball, whatever was huge money.
Nothing now.
And now, I mean, fucking $500, $600, $700 million. I mean, Jesus.
There's no sense in it. It's to the point now, a guy with a family of 4 can't go to the ballpark.
Yeah.
To see a game, whether pick your sport, like they're all high.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I get it. I get there's 2 sides to every story. It drives the economy. You know, I get it. It brings in revenue, but still, I think there's should be a little bit. I mean, I guess the local gas station that brings in people to spend money, I don't know that they're getting any subsidies anywhere. So what's the difference? I mean,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they're not building a gas station for them as the town or the county or the state or whatever. It's ridiculous to me. Like I know when the Colts put that new stadium up, the RCA Dome was not paid for at the time. They tore down a building that wasn't paid for, which I don't know how you can do that, but I mean, I suppose as government you can. And then I think the tax went up, if I remember it correctly, which it's been probably 15 years ago now. My memory's not that good, but I think the counties that surround Indianapolis all got a sales tax raise to help fund the stadium.
yep.
You know, which some of those businesses benefit from it, but not all of them.
Right, exactly.
You know, like
yeah, a guy 5 miles out from the stadium that's just got a random convenience store or whatever. I mean, he ain't.
you think the local O'Reilly's or whatever is getting any more business out of that? No, their sales tax went up, but they're not selling any more auto parts because there's a football game tonight.
Yeah,
you know, like,
agreed. Yeah.
So I think it's way out of hand. The salaries are ridiculous, and just like everything else in the world at this point, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. Sure enough. Yep. So we're sitting here in the shop next to my new to me 8200 John Deere front wheel assist 1995 model. Thanks to Bill at Riekman Brothers. He randomly sent me a message one day on Facebook. Hey, this is Bill. I didn't know the guy, and just you ever need anything, you always listen to the podcast and whatnot, and send me a message. And I just said, well, looking for a low-hour 8,000 series tractor. You ever get one? Let me know. And shoot, a week later, he messaged me back, said, I got just what you need. So
absolutely.
Went down, looked at it, and pretty nice tractor, so ended up buying it. And it's funny because, it's tearing everybody up on TikTok, but it's always sitting in the background. I'm doing this on purpose, but it's funny because I think I did mention this on maybe another podcast, maybe when Josh and him was here. I think I mentioned it somewhere that I'd traded for it. I didn't have it yet, but I'd traded for it. So you can see the people who listen to the podcast because they know what it is or what's going on. They haven't seen it, and everybody else is, what the hell's that in the background, this and that. So, yeah. So
Riekman's one of the last good family-owned stores.
They are. Yep.
Still, you can actually talk to the owner and do business with him.
Yeah, he dealt with him 100%. He delivered the tractor himself personally.
Yeah.
And, and I mean, he told me 100 times, hey, if there's something wrong with it, let us know. We'll take care of it. I have all the faith in the world he would.
Find a dealership where the owner can drive a semi.
Yeah, agreed.
There's not too many left.
That's right.
Would be my guess.
Yeah, it's going to be a sad day when dealerships like them and Shiloh Valley and them go out. I hope they never do, but I mean, I got a funny feeling that
eventually,
Deere don't want it. I mean,
eventually, pick your brand. It's not Deere specific. I mean, pick your brand. It's all going to multiple store dealers, and they sell that as, we got all this benefit to that. Oh, do you? Well, we can have this tech guy. Well, that's great. Those tech guys always leave. If they're good, they leave. They go work for a private company. It seems like, anyway. I mean, I don't always see the benefit to that, but
I'd like to keep as many of them guys going as I can, but I mean, I'm not going to make the change myself. I mean, me buying one tractor,
not going to make or break it. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's sad. And in fact, me and Bill was talking that day, or Bill and I should say, if I want to keep my proper grammar here. But I had made a post on Facebook way back and just took a screenshot of all the implement dealers in Illinois, the John Deere dealers out of an old Prairie Farmer magazine.
Yep.
And I think he said he actually counted, and that was in, I'm going to shoot from the hip, say it was like 83, 84, I don't remember the exact year. And I thought he said there was 89 that he counted. Of course, they weren't all listed. I mean, there was a few outliers or whatever, but boy, there sure wouldn't be that many now.
No, I still got a clip hanging up on the filing cabinet there in the shop. It's all the Case IH dealers, back in the day. It was a cut out of the Agri News probably, or whatever. So we had all their phone numbers back before you had, Google. But almost none of them are under the same name now. I mean, some of the locations still exist, but the names have changed.
We've been really fortunate here in our area too, as far as now international was totally different when they went down, in the 80s. Like some of them just closed and never come back. But as far as like Deere dealers or even the ones that become a Case IH dealer, most of them I think are still at least in. They might have changed hands 3 or 4 times since then,
but they're at least the location's still there.
Yeah. Yep, it would be very few that have actually closed, if any,
the world's changing on that, though, too. Like, I think we're stuck in we need a brick and mortar place close to us. But in the world of fancy service trucks, service tools, and farm shops that have got way nicer.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest dealership in the world can't house everybody's stuff. So
agreed.
At some point in time, they send a nice service truck out with a qualified tech, and they work on it at your place. That's not bad either. Like, you don't have to have that store necessarily. You know, I mean, it costs a lot of money to have all that infrastructure. So,
I'm starting to wonder though, when it comes to just everyday household consumer goods, not the ag side, if people ain't starting to get wise and want to go back to brick and mortar, just because shipping is such a disaster. I made a TikTok the other day, and hell, I think I even said when Josh and them was here a week ago, I had that electric fencer that I'd shipped off, and the lady could see it with her own eyes.
Yeah.
But that thing's still out in La La Land, and I've just wrote it off. But
this year's is worst as I can remember, but it's getting bad to the point. It's like, well, I guess I will go back to the store. If there's any stores left to go to.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a combination of things. Nobody can find good help.
Yeah.
And then I think people are buying more and more stuff every year, so it's bogging the system down, and it's
I ordered a cell phone case the other day. They got it 12 miles from my house. That was on December 3rd. It's still not here yet.
No kidding.
Yeah, out for delivery at 2:38 that morning. That was the last update. It was at 2:38. It was supposed to be there by 5. Then they bumped it out. It's going to be later. At 2:38, still out for delivery. Yeah, right. I haven't seen it yet. Like, it's gone. Hats off to the company. They just sent me another one. But that one didn't show up for another 2 days, and it was like 9 o'clock at night when they dropped it off.
Yeah.
It's.
Yep. I don't remember if the wife told me this, that it happened here at our house, or if it was one of our friends. Somebody just told me a week ago that UPS dropped packages off at their house at 11:30 at night. No, it wasn't here. It wasn't my house because whoever told me that, I said, man, you got to kind of be a little bit careful doing that around. I mean, somebody gets shot, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, you rolled in at like 11:30 at night and threw packages out.
I had a next day air supposed to be at the shop yesterday. UPS never even showed up.
No kidding.
Didn't get it today either. You know,
Yeah.
I suppose I'll get it Monday, but that's not next day air.
Yeah. And do they ever refund any money on that, or?
I suppose if you dug into it long enough. The problem is this was being shipped to me, so then I got to inconvenience the shipper.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if it was something I'd shipped, I'd probably bird dog it and chase it down. But on this deal, I'm not going to put him through the hassle. I've already texted him, you know, a couple of times to track it, this, that, and the other. It's a good friend of mine. I'm like, I'm not going to make him deal with it. I'll just eat it and go on, I guess. But it is what it is. But
Yeah, this shipping is a nightmare. I mean,
it is a disaster.
But yeah, I'm to the point anymore. If I know I don't care if I got to go to town and spend $5 more on an item. I'll just go so I can put my hands on it and take it home and just forget the hassle of the shipping. I'm over it.
Absolutely. I ordered something for one of these Christmas parties we got to go to, you know, ugly sweater deal or whatever. Still haven't got it.
Yeah.
Paid for the expedited shipping. It took them like 4 days to even package it up. Now it's stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not going to make it before Christmas. Well, I don't need it after Christmas.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I suppose I'll probably end up keeping it just to avoid the hassle, and I'll have it for next year, I guess. But so frustrating anymore. And so UPS has done some dumb stuff, in my opinion. They closed all those terminals. Well, that's great if you staff up the other ones, but like our local one is not a big building, which you don't have to have a giant building, but you have to have enough room to transfer all that stuff around. Well, they've doubled their package load. They don't have room or space or people for that. Like, I get, you know, I think a bunch of those got built in the inner cities thinking they would have all this workforce, and then they realized, oh, well, we don't.
Yeah.
So now we got to do something different, you know.
I wonder if some of that stuff gets, and maybe there's no way to even do this, but it makes you wonder if it halfway gets prioritized. So just take, for example, my local John Deere dealer. I know they send a lot of stuff back and forth to UPS. Yep. You know, I need a part for this tractor. It's in Wisconsin. Maybe might be at their other store, but their route truck don't run as fast as UPS, so they'll just UPS it or whatever. But it seems like that shit never gets lost. Like if they tell me that it'll be here Tuesday on a Friday, it's there.
Well, I assume there's some level of prioritization on people that ship more than others. I know some of the companies I deal with, they're like, oh, we'll send you a call tag because we're going to ship that for half of what you do.
Right.
You know, which, makes great.
Sense. Yeah.
You know, but it doesn't always work. But I'm sure there's some level of priority to that. But have you ever been to the giant UPS shipping place in Chicago?
No, I haven't.
I was there one time. It's not in a great part of town.
Really?
I wasn't scared, but I wasn't comfortable either.
Really?
Like, thank goodness it was daylight. I've never seen this before in my life. I had a tractor pulling customer coming through, and he had parts shipped to my place because he had to leave from where he lived to get to the pole poles in Missouri. So he's going to stop by my place. I'll have the parts. We'll put them on. He's going to go to Missouri. Okay. They don't show up. So we hop in. He called his UPS guy, and I don't know. This guy had to pull some strings. Tracked it down. It was in a trailer. It only made it like 10 miles from the place that was shipping it, like literally, and then it was stuck. His UPS guy tracked it down. They unloaded that trailer, got it out, so on and so forth, and we drove up there and picked it up. But I was glad to get back on the road.
Yeah.
Like, we threw it in the truck. I locked the doors. He opened the package up. It's like, yep, it's here. And we boogied on out there. But he missed the first day of the 2-day pull, but we at least had it. You know, it wasn't just stuck on a trailer waiting for another, because it was on weekend, of course.
Sure.
You know, but
it does seem like it's gotten worse. You know, 10 years ago, like it didn't really matter if you picked FedEx, UPS. It was at least going to get to you. Maybe a day late, at worst case scenario, but it was at least going to get to you.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, it's just a crapshoot.
It's a crapshoot.
In the realm of things, if you think of the billions of packages per day getting shipped, they're still doing a good job.
It's an unreal amount. So Josh Scott, who was on the podcast last time, I had him ship me a part here, I don't know, a month ago. I'm like, oh, that'll be there the next day, right? Like, there's no reason for me to drive down there. If he ships it out today, I'll have it tomorrow. Like, no big deal. It was 2 or 3 days before it got there.
Really?
Like, I don't know why. And then that somehow, like, if you were tracking it, it said they were going to drop it at the post office, which made no sense. And then a UPS truck ended up bringing it and dropping it off. But, you know, it's funny. Like, when I was a kid, we had one UPS guy from far as I can remember, from clear back to when I can remember until I was probably 20-something, probably at least, maybe older than that. And then we had another guy for quite a while, and we've been through several since then. I got a great guy now and have had several good guys in between there. But, like, FedEx, I don't know if they're showing up in a FedEx truck,
Yeah,
a budget Brio truck.
They're showing up in U-Haul trucks here.
They've showed up in pickup trucks before. Vans. You never personal vehicles. It might be their dad. It might be their cousin. It might be their brother. Like, you just never know. And they shovel these packages out. Like, I've often wondered, like, you don't even have the thing to scan it with.
Yeah.
Like, how can you prove that any of that got delivered? Because
yeah.
the guy that you're covering for has the scanner.
Yeah, he scanned it when he gave it to you and just said, yeah, it's there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a little sketchy on that. But I will give hats off to UPS on that. Like, for the most part, it's been...
I've always personally preferred UPS over anything. I don't know why. I've just always had good luck with them.
Me as well.
And to this day, I have never lost anything UPS or not received anything UPS, personally.
Most of the guys I've had UPS, like my core group of UPS guys, I'd give them the code to my house if I had to, and just drop it off there. Like, if or wherever, the shop, whatever, like, they've all been good guys. I mean, I would take them out for supper, if they're all good guys. Like I said, not that the FedEx people are bad. It's a different guy every time. You can't build any rapport to somebody that's only been there once.
Right. Agreed.
So,
yeah, it's different. I don't know but at the end of the day, I mean, it's easy to bitch about it because it's frustrating when stuff gets lost. But man, when you talk about the sheer volume
of packages is unreal.
It is. Yeah. But I do, and like I say, maybe that comes back to there's just more shipping nowadays. 10 years ago,
we've caused that ourselves by not going to the store.
Oh, for sure.
And we don't plan ahead very far.
Yeah.
It's like, we got so used to 2-day prime shipping, just for an example. When was the last time you got something in 2 days from Amazon Prime? Yeah. Almost never.
Yeah,
I mean, if you did, it was like dental floss or something. Some random deal that you didn't really care if it took 3 or 4 days. It wasn't a Christmas present that you wanted before Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And Christmas is the worst time on that. They don't want to be at work. I don't want them to have to be at work. I don't want to be at work. And I didn't plan ahead enough to order the stuff. We all knew Christmas was coming around.
Agreed.
So it's everybody's fault, I guess. But
it is crazy. I made a TikTok the other day flipping through that Sears catalog. Now, I know you had to order that stuff from the catalog or whatever, but even back then, just your random store, I felt like had a wider variety of goods in it, I guess.
Yeah.
Anything from...
I mean, Sears had it all at one time.
Yeah.
Yep. And we've talked about this before. I'm probably not on a podcast, but just you and I BSing. But, back when you could order a Sears house, I never heard any of those guys that, of course, they're all gone now, but the guys that talked about getting one of those or remembering them coming in or whatever, you never heard them complain about a shortage of, well, it only come with one box of nails for the whole house or whatever. Like, there was never anything missing, gone, this, that, and the other. Like, everything was there. It was all laid out well, so on and so forth. Of course, there again, the volume wasn't probably super high.
Sure.
And it was all, I shouldn't say good people, but it was all competent people packing it up, so on and so forth. Probably a guy who drove a nail before.
Sure.
So on and so forth. Now there's such a disconnect between people that literally have never done much more than click on something.
Yeah.
Trying to package this up or whatever it is, Yeah,
if you think back, just go back to I guess the 30s wouldn't be a real good example due to the Depression. There wasn't a lot of work then, but prior to the 30s and then after the 30s, think of how many guys that farmed but worked in town also. So they were kind of people that, and I'm not putting farmers on a pedestal. I mean, you could say this about any profession, but they were working there as a crutch to help feed the family, but they had something of their own that they took pride in. They weren't just a number at a factory somewhere. I mean, they worked there, but they also had skin in the game outside of that factory. Pride
in your work is something that has definitely fallen by the wayside.
It's gone.
Like, people, it just doesn't exist anymore for the most part. I mean, there are obviously exceptions, but for the most part, like, it's just not there anymore, and that's sad.
Yeah,
that breaks my heart.
I don't know who you'd call around here for a carpenter.
It's slim. Of course, back in the day when our grandparents were our age or younger or whatever, they were all pretty okay at carpentry.
Yeah,
pretty okay at electric work. Like, they could do all. Plus, they farmed. Plus, they worked in town. Like, they could do all that stuff. And now we're down to people that have zero skills. If they got one, that's great. But most of them are more along the line of zero.
Right. And back then, the quality of materials was better. You had something good to work with starting out. It wasn't this twisted ass lumber and all this shit you get today. And I also think when work was that hard, you're going to do it right the first time. If you're laying field tile with the fucking shovel, you're going to make sure you do that right the first time, because I'm not digging this fucker up again.
I'm not digging it up again.
So I think
it's just interesting how people view things anymore. Like, the other day, I unfortunately was at Walmart, which I don't normally go to. And so the the people in front of me had a basket, and the gal set it up on the deal behind the register, and I just grabbed it and put it back in the rack. Mesmerized, blew the two people that were checking out and the checkout girl's mind that I would take the effort to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm just standing here otherwise. Like,
Exactly.
Idle hands are the devil's playthings. Like, it took me no effort to do that. It speeds up the process, saved her some steps, blew their mind. Yep. It's like the time I know I've told you about this. I was getting feed one time here not all that long ago. This kid walks out with me, and he's like, you want me to get in the truck? And I'm like, no, I'll just chuck them in there. So I'm throwing the bags in there. He's like, man, I hope I can do that someday. I'm like, but at that time, I'm like, I'm 45 at the time. I'm like, I'm 45 years old. Like, if you can't do it now, like, because he was 18, 19 years old, but he literally never touched a bag. I'm like, you're never going to be able to throw them if you stand there and watch me.
Agreed.
Like, he literally watched me throw all 10 bags in the truck, just mesmerized that I could grab them and throw them in. I'm like, pick one up.
Yeah.
Try it. Like,
yeah.
Probably help you out.
And don't you think the morale in the workplace has caused some of the problems as far as going the extra mile? So now it's hard to fire somebody once you hire them, right? No matter if it's a union job or not, just firing people in general because of discrimination and yada, yada, yada. We all know the drill. So basically this guy's a piece of shit making the same money you are.
Yeah.
And when he screws something up over here, it's like, well, fuck him. He didn't do nothing the rest of the day. He can fix it. Where I feel like back in the day, and maybe I'm totally wrong. I wasn't alive back then, but I kind of felt like it was a group effort and like, hey, let's.
For sure. You're just trying to get it done.
Yeah.
Whatever the task was. Now everybody's deal is, well, it's not my job.
Yeah.
It's not my job.
Exactly.
Well, just grab it, dig in and get it done. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just like to dive into stuff just to see if I can do it. Mm-hmm. Just to be helpful. Like, if I come over here right now and you're waxing a truck or whatever, I'm going to grab you. You're not going to ask me, but I'm going to grab a rag and start helping in. Yeah. Because otherwise I'm just standing there.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. It's a different world now.
Yeah. Man, it'd be tough for me to do the factory gig because there's too much of that goes on,
Oh, for sure.
If you're with, and you can always feel when you're with a good group of people, it's like everybody's on the same page. This thing's firing on all cylinders. Let's get her done, Like when I worked at the co-op years ago, we had a great group of guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody could just pitch in and we all had one goal in mind. Let's get this shit done, We worked hard and we played hard, but now you just get into this shit where, that ain't my job.
That ain't my job. It's been 4 or 5 years ago now, probably at least, but my daughter and I went out for supper one night, and the restaurant owner was all tore up because he'd had knee surgery and could barely walk, and his help didn't show up that night. He's like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're having trivia night tonight. We got a bunch of people coming in, so on and so forth. I'm like, you want some help? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I got nothing going on. Like, my daughter and I can help. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. I said, I got to run to TSC real quick and grab something. That was my sole reason for going to town. I'm like, we'll run and grab that. We'll come back. We'll help you out. Blew his mind. It was actually a very good experience for my daughter, which is part of the reason I did it. Like, you're going to get some waitress experience with no consequences here. Like,
yeah, exactly.
If you mess up, like, you can't fire us. You didn't hire us to begin with, I actually had a really good time doing it. I enjoy bartending and
I do
so on
too,
and so
actually.
forth. Like, I low-key kind of like that. I should buy a bar, but that would probably be bad. So anyway, so we did that the one night, and he was like, man, I cannot believe you guys did that. I'm like, we had a great time doing it. Like, happy to do it. No problem. Just to help him out. That's what friends do,
Yep.
But you won't see that I'm not saying it was some noble effort, but it baffles me today on, like I said, it comes down to pride in your work. Yeah. Like, when I was at said Walmart, the gal dropped a package of bacon, and she just stood there with her hands on her hips. Oh. Do you want someone to go get you a new package? No. Pick it up off the floor, put it in the bag.
It's wrapped up.
Like, it'll be fine. I'm not eating the package.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big a deal. But I bent over and picked it up for her and put it in the bag. Like,
but I mean, hell, I've even seen that though at stores, probably once or twice in my whole life here. Be walking across the parking lot and a 90-year-old lady will fall. Yeah. And you can always tell, like, the old school people, I mean, they're like dropping shit, running to help this lady, and the other half the people are just walking on by like it didn't even happen,
I laugh, if we go out to lunch or for whatever, and one of us will hold the door for whoever's coming in or out. Just blows people's mind because that doesn't happen much anymore.
Right.
And I've tried to beat that through my son's head. I'm like, you never walk through a door before a lady.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. You see one coming up, you hold the door for them. That's just what you do. But that skill is, and that's a pretty simple task, but it's going by the wayside. Like I said, it blows their mind when you do it now because it doesn't happen as often as it should.
Yeah.
But like I said, people just don't have the pride in the work anymore.
Yeah. And I think big box stores and stuff like that, added to the disconnect. You know, back when mom and pop owned the grocery store here,
Yeah.
you know, you knew them on a personal level.
Yeah.
You knew the owners, you know.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like Reekman's with the tractor. You
Yeah.
know, you dealt with the owner, you know.
Absolutely. We got a local grocery store here, which is really good. And they always want to carry my groceries out. And although I appreciate the service, I'm like, but I'm competent. Like, once you go back in and make sure that the next
you help the next little old lady.
You help the next little old lady make sure they get their stuff carried out in a timely manner, help them get bagged up, checked out, so on and so forth. Because they don't have so much staff. So while they're carrying my stuff, somebody else is bagging until they get back. I'm like, just take care of them. I'll gladly carry my own stuff. It's like when we go to the bar. Then they want to open your beer for you. No, I can open my own beer.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate the effort. I'm going to tip you regardless. I'll open my own beer.
Yep.
Like, I don't need you. I don't need your paws on it that have touched everybody else's money. Like,
exactly.
I can do it myself. When I get to the point I can't, probably don't give me a beer. But if I can't, like, then you can open it for me. But at this point in my life, like, I could do that myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. I mean, some things for the better, some for the worse. And I mean, we probably beat this horse so many times, people are tired of hearing it, but it's, I don't know. Quality of life is better today. I'm not going to knock that. I mean, you know, it was a big deal when I was a kid to have air conditioning. I mean, like, and even a lot of people at that time, like my grandpa and grandma had it, but too tight to run it. Like, oh, you know, goddamn, that's going to add $50 electric bill, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now that's just standard. I mean,
yeah.
But it's changed.
My mom being pregnant with me is the only thing that got Dad to put air conditioning in our house.
Is that right?
Growing up, yeah. It was hot that summer, and she was miserable. He's like, I better do something here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you got to have give and take. I mean, the quality of life I do think is better, but you've lost the personal
disconnect. How many times do you hear this? Well, I'm just not a people person. I don't like being around people, so on and so forth. People suck, but they're great too. Like, sure. You know, I was just having this conversation with a guy tonight. He's like, well, you know, I don't like being around people all that much. You know, we were talking about TikTok, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, I've met a ton of great people through TikTok. I'm like, we wouldn't have been where we were tonight earlier.
Agreed.
If it wasn't for that. Like, people are great if you just give them a chance, especially Midwest farm people. Like, they're fine. Now, do you run into this, that, and the other? Sure, you're going to. But in general, if you get back to actually engaging with people, like, turns out they're not that bad.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. It as a population, I think we're declining in a lot of ways. The quality of life might be better, but I don't know. There's a lot of misguided folks out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if that's something that could ever come full circle or not. You know, some of that, boy, once people get wrapped up in electronics and just disconnect from people, you know, because generally the kids learn from the parents, right?
Yeah.
Like you and I'm not going to say we're any different than anybody else here in the Midwest, but we would be much different than somebody in Chicago just because we watched the way our parents interacted with the guy at the lumberyard or the whatever, where them guys have always been accustomed to big box stores, and you don't talk to the guy at the Home Depot counter for the most part. You know,
you and I have talked about this before, and I see it with both of our oldest kids. They can interact with adults. Because forced is not the right word, but they saw us do it a lot of times with strangers, et cetera, and they both function pretty well in that. You know, Bob comes in right now.
Yeah.
If there was 3 guys here that he didn't know, he'd be able to converse with them. We can talk tractors, whatever the deal is, you know, but that's not the norm anymore.
No, it's not.
It's normally, well, I'm just going to look down at my screen until somebody speaks to me, and I'm just going to stand over here, you know.
Yeah, they've definitely got the do not speak until spoken to part down to a T with a lot of these kids. I mean, and even then they may not even speak to you when spoken to.
You know, but maybe we force that out of them, because if they come in right now, like, we're going to speak to them.
Right.
Otherwise, they're going to sit there and Snapchat their friends that are sitting 2 feet from them.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have we seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Where you've got a group of kids or whatever, and they're literally texting each other or snapping or whatever there is they're doing, and they're 5 foot away from them. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
I'm very, I don't know if bad's the right word, but yeah, anytime that whole group of teenagers, you know, my son, your daughter, I make it a point to talk to them, just to pry shit out of them, just to make them talk.
Absolutely. Force them to talk.
Yep.
Yeah. Nephew, love him to death, but he's like a steel trap. He ain't going to tell you anything to you. You just got to keep, it's like an onion. You got to start peeling him a little bit. And eventually he'll warm up. He'll start telling you some stuff or talk to you, this, that, and other. But if you didn't do that, he'd sit there all through lunch and never say a word.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah, you're not going to get much out of them unless you dive into it. But. And you touched on it earlier, and I don't know if this is the sole reason why, but maybe. Do you think that the fact that pay kind of got standardized, let's say, is the reason that started to decline. Like, let's say, for instance, that you and I are both bartending, waitering, whatever, and we have to split everything up at the end of the night. So what's your motivation to engage more with the customer and get better tips, et cetera, et cetera? Like, and that's kind of become a universal thing, not just with tips, but like factory worker A isn't doing shit. Factory worker B is working his hind end off. They both get the same. Comes raise time. Well, it's standard because it's just based off time. Well, you've both been here 6 months, so you both get the same raise. Like, is that the reason that's driving that? I'm not saying it is, but I think it plays into it.
And if it is, it's scary because that's a whisker of socialism, right? I'm not going to give any more effort because we're all getting the same. So
exactly.
Why should I work harder than you?
Exactly. I don't think there's enough reward for good workers.
Yeah.
You know, and how many times do you see a company that's like, well, times are tight. Let's cut the top third off. Let's fire them because we can hire back people that aren't as good as them, but we can hire 2 more than what we had for less money. We'll just start over.
Yeah.
You know, I think that plays into it.
Yep. And I guess you'd have to look at the numbers because that could be a double-edged sword. You would think your people that have been there for 20 years would know the system and be good, but they could also be the more lax that, well, I've been here 20 years, I'm not doing that. You're the new guy, you do it. So, you know, so I don't know what the give and take is.
It goes both ways, yeah. But I think the lack of reward for great employees and the keeping bad employees on staff probably plays into the whole.
I don't run a big business. I have no employees, hope to never have employees, but from the outside looking in, isn't it easier to take care of the good ones that you got than just keep training these idiots over and over and over again?
You would think, but I think at this point in time, if they can get warm bodies to show up, it's a miracle if they can pull that off at this point.
I think so.
You know, and I'll be the first one to tell you, like if I pull in someplace, if you look like a dipshit, my expectations are pretty low.
Oh yeah, I profile the shit out of people. I'm going to be the first to admit
because they exist. Stereotypes exist for a reason.
Absolutely.
Like they're based on statistical fact and analysis. Like, so if I pull through a drive-through and you look a certain way, I'm going to assume that my order is going to be screwed up, and turns out you're going to prove me right.
Absolutely.
Like,
and it's as simple as if you're walking through a dark alley and you got somebody coming at you and he's wearing a suit and tie, carrying a briefcase, you're probably not going to be overly alarmed. You might think, well, you know, what's this guy doing? But you're not going to be. But if the guy's all wigged out, wearing scraggly clothes,
you're going to a trench coat on and
probably going to run the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
You just profiled somebody.
Absolutely,
the way that works.
That's the way it works. You know, like I said, shouldn't be that way, maybe, but in general, that's going to be the way it's going to go.
And because I have been burned on that too. I'll never forget this. I was 16 years old. My oldest brother was working a factory job at the time, and me and Dad was putting up hay, hotter than blue blazes, was needing help and whatnot. And so my brother, he happened to be off that day, said, I got a guy here I work with. He said he'd come help us. So this guy shows up, covered in tattoos, head to toe, piercings all over, wearing shorts. I'm like, this clown showing up to bale hay wearing shorts. One of the best workers you ever seen. I mean, this guy just tore into it, didn't faze him a bit, baled hay all day in shorts. So, I mean, it did bite me on that. Like, if you would have picked this guy out of Midwestern farm kids, that'd been the last guy you'd have picked, and that guy was good as gold. It does
get you once in a while, which there's an exception to every rule, and thank goodness there is.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, but I've had that before as well, and it's like, well, I misjudged on that one. But generally speaking, about 80% of the time, I'm right.
And most of the time, you can just tell by the way people carry themselves, you know, as far as if they're even engaged with life in general.
Yeah.
You know, it just...
Well, handshaking's kind of a thing of the past at this point somewhat, but I can tell 90% of what I need to know about you by the way you shake your hand.
Absolutely.
Shake a hand, you know. There's exceptions to that rule too, but shake a hand like a man. Look me in the eye, shake my hand.
Agreed.
Know?
Yep. I was told years ago in one of our classes at school, whether it was ag, I don't know which class it was, but they gave a tip, you know, for people going into the workforce that any good employer is going to sit across from the table and look at your hands.
Yeah.
If you got these dish pan hands or whatever, and depending on the job, I mean, I guess you're going to run a computer all day, nobody cares. But, you know, if you're building brake drums or whatever, and you got these little dish pan hands, like, I don't need this guy. Maybe he knows everything. But
if you'll notice, the guys that have really done a lot of work, especially guys older than us, their hands are big, whether they're small or not.
Oh, yeah.
Their hands are big because they did some work and that developed their hands, and they got big fingers. They're, you know, it just... part of it, I suppose. But my brother and I were just having this conversation the other day, you know, because it's winter time and your fingers start to crack and this, that, and the other, and all your wives, I'll put this lotion on, that lotion on. I don't want them too soft.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when I shake a guy's hand, I want him to know that I've done something that day, you know?
Yep.
within the last 3 weeks anyway.
Right. Yeah.
I never forget, like, my dad's hands were permanently stained, like just like my finger there. Like, that's just the way they are. Like, the only time that goes away is if he was sick and didn't do anything for 3 weeks or whatever, which only happened probably once in my life, Otherwise, that's just the way it is. Right. You can only get them so clean.
Exactly.
If you're doing something with them all the time. But people that can work with gloves mesmerize me because I can't live in a climate where you got to work with gloves because I can't pull it off.
Agreed. Yep. Yep. It's no different and I've had this happen here, ordered, whether it's a big part for a combine or something, and it comes on a freight truck, an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll stop on the road out here because they don't know which driveway to come in, blah, blah, blah. And if I see this guy get out and he's wearing jeans and, somewhat respectable, it's like, this guy's got a cover. I'm like, just back in over here. And man, he'll back her right in. But we've seen it 100 times. He comes out in sweatpants, one pulled up to his knee, flip-flops. It's like, just drop it right here. I'll pick it up from here.
I'll get it where you're at.
Yep. This ain't going to be worth the hassle.
No. I had a load of crankshafts come in one time, and this guy showed up, middle of winter, in shorts, stops on the road. Okay, no problem. So I get to take the forklift out to his trailer. All the crates are in the front of the trailer. I'm like, you got a hand truck? No, you got one? I'm like, no, I have a forklift. I'm like, I don't need a hand truck. I have a forklift. Oh, man. So we had to take a chain and drag everyone. So while we were doing that, he went into the truck and changed into sweatpants, which took him about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
He come out after we got the truck unloaded. So I'd set one off, hook the chain to the next one, drag it out, and then carried them all from the end of the driveway to the shop. And I called the place I got them from. I'm like, hey, don't use that company ever again.
Yeah.
And I told him why. He's like, well, they probably thought you have a dock. I'm like, I do have a dock. Turns out I don't have a drive-through dock, though. Like, you have to back up to it. And the first thing this guy said when he got out of the truck is, I can't back.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but every dock I've ever seen requires backing.
Yeah.
Like, by the looks of the guy, there was no way in hell I'm getting in his truck.
Exactly.
So I'm not backing it up to my dock because I'm not getting in his truck. So I had to drag him out. Fortunately, I had a log chain long enough. I need about 60-foot log chain to get him to the front of a 53-foot trailer and hook it to the forklift. And it's like, meanwhile, I can't say enough good. Like, I use R&L carriers pretty exclusively if I'm shipping something. Those guys are always on it. Every one of them guys come back for the most
They've
part.
Been here. Yep.
They are good to go. Like, they used to. One of the former owners or part owners of it used to tractor pull, got to know him a little bit and kind of basically switched to him then. He's now out of it, but still use them exclusively. Those guys can always back. They can unload. Oh, your forklift's tied up doing something else? No problem. We got a deal. We can set it out here for you. No problem. They're always competent.
Yeah.
Always, guys in vests look like actual truckers.
Yeah.
How you and I view a truck driver.
They were Smokey and the Bandit truckers.
Yeah, they've seen Smokey and the Bandit. They know what Jerry Reed looks like. Like, they can pull it off.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Their trucks are not automatic, probably.
Yeah.
Or if they are, they could drive an 18 speed if they had to.
I cannot fathom what some of these dock workers experience in a day's time in a big city with just hundreds of different guys coming in from all walks of life all over the U.S. I can't even fathom what they see in a day's time.
It's been, probably 8-10 years ago now, but I had this guy, he parks on the road, comes walking up, and he's dressed a little odd. Okay. And so he starts talking into his phone. Okay. It plays it back to me. He's from some Eastern European country. He ends up telling me he's been in the country 2 weeks. Already had his CDL, was driving a truck.
Yeah.
I'm like, now how'd you get your CDL in 2 weeks? I told Dad, I'm like, if that package makes it anywhere close, and thank goodness that the guy was selling it to had arranged the shipping. It was his buddy's company or whatever. I'll just have them swing a truck by. I'm like, there is no way this is going to make it. Like, this guy's trying to figure out how to get out of town. I'm like, he's going to spend 3 weeks in Sturgeon just driving around.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to be lost the whole time. It made it there in a timely manner, but I would have bet against that.
Yeah.
Like, he had no clue where he was at, where he was going. Like, he was literally 3,000 miles or further than that from any place he knew. Yeah. He's solely going off Google Maps in a foreign language. Like, but it made it, miraculously enough. But I knew when he walked up with skin-tight, tapered leg jeans that he was not Jerry Reed.
He had not seen Smokey and the Bandit.
He had not seen Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah. Yeah. The Trans Am meant nothing to him.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I tell you, it would be tough for me to be a truck driver today. Just the atmosphere at the truck stops and whatnot. It would be really, really tough.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I can drive the truck fine, but the rest of it I couldn't do.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm kind of out on that.
That is one industry that has changed dramatically.
Yes, and now we keep bringing in foreigners to do it. They can't read the road signs, and I was just talking to a buddy of mine the other day. He works road construction, and they got cameras set up and all that stuff. He's like, Nick, it's like, it's not uncommon to see a guy that's not even he's not even in the driver's seat. He's in the bunk. He'll reach up every once in a while and grab the wheel. He's making a hot plate of something in the bunk. Like, they had a gal that went through every day. She had an iPad zip tied to the steering wheel of her TV so she could watch TV while she was, driving. God. And that shit's scary. And that's why you see these giant pileups. Like, every time it snows now, I'm like, nope, not going anywhere near the interstate.
No,
I'm not scared to drive on it, but I'm scared to drive with these people.
Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah, there's a whole gaggle of people that's never even seen snow that's driving an 18-wheeler in this shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not doing
Absolutely. It. I had to go to a wedding here the other day. It snowed or whatever. One of the gals that was in the lobby while I was hanging out at this hotel, first time she'd ever seen snow in her life. I'm like, yeah, you're probably going in to hop into a 2-wheel drive car and, modoc through it.
Good luck.
She was from the south somewhere, never seen snow in her life. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to go well.
Yep. That's what I have tried to beat into the boy's head, being almost 17 now. This was like so he got his license in February, and by then, I don't know if we'd had much snow, probably not, and by the time he got his license, snow was over. But like I told him this winter, once we started getting much snow, I'm like, remember, you can't stop on this shit. You have to, which I trust him, but
you can go faster than you can stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can't be out here driving 40 mile an hour down these country roads and then expect to come to a stop sign.
Just when I left your house the other night, the snow had melted off except for underneath the pine trees over there. On a curve, like you want to hit that pretty slow because otherwise you're just scooting.
Exactly. Yep, that's what always bites them. The road's clear, so we're up to running 45. Then you get to this hairpin curve where it's shaded and it's ice.
It's kind of comic relief, and this is terrible to say, but so where our farm's at, it's right on the county line. So typically one county will plow faster than the other, and it varies depending on the snow. So you'll see traffic coming from both ways. So if they're on clear roads, they're hell-bent for election, and they get to the county line, and this road's snow-covered. It's not super uncommon for a car to jump my brother's driveway and end up in the farm lot.
Yep.
Like, that's happened numerous times. I'm sure he's got a spare mailbox around there somewhere because they get ran over. Like, that's a thing. It happens, Which his house is the official place where you change tires, et cetera.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, guaranteed. The only time I've ever had to change a tire for my wife was in his driveway.
Is that right?
She was a quarter of a mile from there, got a flat tire, cut the sidewall, went down. I'm like, cripes, I've been making fun of people for changing tires in my brother's driveway. Now I got to do it.
Exactly.
So don't drive through there. It's a dangerous spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's scary. I mean, if we knew half these idiots what they were doing while they were driving, and I seen that a lot, back when I used to haul grain to the river.
When you're in a semi and you can see down in those cars, I mean, the things that are going on in those cars.
People reading books. I mean, back then, the iPads and the iPhones and all that stuff wasn't real popular then, so it was always paper, whether it was a newspaper, a magazine.
Yeah.
And it always baffled me how and I see now why people get hurt so bad in car wrecks. We got all these safety features, airbags and all this collision bullshit. But women were especially bad, had their whole foot clear up in the driver's seat with like they were sitting in a recliner, at home, kind of comfy. So basically your knee's already at your mouth.
Yeah.
And now you hit something at 75 mile an hour and it shoves all your teeth through the back of your head. I mean,
Absolutely.
That's why. But
don't prop your feet on the dash.
No, it's just.
Yeah. If you're backcountry cruising and you want to stick your foot out the window, okay. 30 mile an hour, knock yourself out, I guess.
Yeah.
But on the interstate, you're going to get knocked out.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Because you never know when something's going to blow a tire, lose an axle, blow a brake line, something like it happens. But, every time I try to leave a big gap, but either between me and a semi or when I'm in a semi and try to leave a gap between me and the next car, some asshat's going to dive in there anyway.
Always. Never fails.
You can't leave a gap. It's impossible. Somebody's going to dive in there.
I cannot figure these dipshits out that do not use cruise control on the interstate. You'll come up on a car. I always set mine, if the speed limit's 70, I'll set it at 74, 75, whatever, and I just roll. I don't ever change it. I'll bet around here, if you were to drive from where I live to what's it take to get out of Illinois going south on 57, 3 hours? I'll bet you I would have to hit the brakes at least 15 times.
Oh, at least.
Between here and southern Illinois because nobody can set the cruise control.
Well, part of it's that stupid adaptive cruise, which I bitched about before. By the time if you like adaptive cruise, by the time you get done with your trip, you're down to 10 mile an hour. If you never adjust for it, because you just keep getting slowed down. That's why the people stay in the left lane. You got to get in the left lane. Well, your shed's not long enough. You'd have to be in it way before that distance for it not to slow down. I call it the gas wasting feature. I despise it in my wife's car. I'm like, it slows down. So you pull in the left lane, bam, it drops the hammer, drops 2 gears, revs way up. I'm like, well, that defeated the whole purpose of having the cruise control on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Infuriates me.
Yep. But I just can't figure out how you'll come up on a car that's doing, if you're doing 75, it's doing 68.
Yeah.
So you pass it, and then 3 minutes later he blows around you at 81.
Yeah.
And then you pass it. It's like, what are you doing? Just set the fucking cruise and leave it alone.
And then he's back down to 64.
Yeah.
I use cruise control everywhere.
I do too. Everywhere.
I use it in the country. Like, just cruising along, whatever. But apparently we're the exception, not the rule.
Apparently. I mean, I have never seen people that make interstate driving just so complicated in my life. I mean,
some of that is, I think they made cruise control so complicated to turn on that these people don't even know the difference on it.
Yep.
I was driving somebody's car one time. Like, what did you do to my car? I'm like, what do you mean? What's that green light on the dash? I'm like, cruise control. Well, I've never seen that before. And herein lies the problem.
Exactly. Yep.
Like, you've had this car for 10 years.
Yep.
Like, you've never used a cruise to know that kicks the light on? Okay.
I know we've talked about it in the past, but believe it or not, when we was in Germany on the Autobahn, on the spots with no speed limit, that actually surprisingly works amazing because nobody is fucking around in the left lane at all. Anybody in the left lane is doing 100 miles an hour or more.
Yeah.
And it's both hands on the wheel, looking forward. You're not fucking scrolling phones. You're not eating cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
I mean, it is both hands on the wheel, driving. Nobody's out there fucking around. You're not. I mean, you can just mash that son of a bitch and let it go and never hit the brakes. It actually works surprisingly well.
That would be fun.
Never seen it. Drove 2,200 miles through Germany. Never seen a single wreck, a single cop, nothing.
Really?
Nothing.
That's unreal.
Yep. Yeah, it works good. And which I do think they have a law, if I remember right, which this could probably be a little bit shitty, I suppose, but no semis in the left lane ever. Like if you come up on a guy running 40 mile an hour, you're just stuck behind him, which I don't know if that needs to be the case, but that is the number one bitch we have here, that it takes 80 miles to pass somebody when it's two semis. But
well, I'm a firm believer, if your truck won't run the speed limit, you're not allowed to use the interstate.
I agree.
But you just can't do it. We had this conversation with your father-in-law. It's been back when you were moving here, actually. I think the day we had the conversation.
And my father-in-law, he's retired now, but been an over-the-road trucker his entire life.
Yeah. And the company safety person would scold them for going down the hill. I think they were company limited, but let's just pick 63, 65.
I think it was. Yep.
So the speed limit's 70, and they would coast down the hill, not above 70, but they would coast down the hill faster than the 63, 65, whatever the truck was governed to at that time. He's like, but we're not breaking the speed limit. Yeah, but you're wasting fuel. No, I'm coasting. I'm going to save fuel because I've got momentum to go up the hill on the other side. Nope, they wanted them to drag the brakes down the hill to stay at that 63 max to work the truck harder going up the hill, which that's clearly somebody making a rule that has never been in the
That's either some idiot looking at the fuel logs that don't know what he's doing, or it's the insurance company and that somebody doesn't know the difference there either.
One or the other. If you're not breaking the speed limit, like you're just goes like that makes no sense to me.
Agreed.
But whatever. I mean, clearly they've never driven down a hill in an 18-wheeler.
Insurance has taken away more freedoms in this country than anything you could ever fucking imagine. And that's a prime example. That's why most of them govern it down, because they lower their insurance rates, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's caused more fucking wrecks by doing that.
Absolutely. Because you got a truck that runs 63 trying to pass the truck runs 62, and the speed limit's 70, and then there you are.
Look at the shit show we had in Illinois our entire life up until, what's it been, 10 or 15 years ago now. They finally made everything 70. But for our whole life,
it was a nightmare.
Semis were 55, cars were 65. Mm-hmm. You talk about a shit show.
Oh, it was a disaster. Absolute disaster. My buddies from Indiana always made fun of that every time they come through here to go into a tractor pull. He's like, you got the straightest, flattest roads in the world. I'm like, I know. But we finally did fix it. But I think about the same time, Indiana changed theirs back the other way, kind of, sort of. I think theirs is off now.
Yeah. But when you stop and think about, look at all the stupid shit you can't do due to lawyers and insurance. You know, be careful, you build a pond at your house, somebody falls in and drowns, you could lose it. Well, I didn't invite the motherfucker here.
Well, the whole world's governed by the 20%, Tony. The 80-20 rule rings true. 80% of the population is governed by the 20% of dipshits.
Agreed.
School system's the same way. Well, we can't
child left behind.
We can't accelerate these kids because we got to drag these kids along with it. We got this rule and that law that doesn't affect me. I'm not going out and do this stupid shit, but we have to have a law for it because the 20% is going to.
Yep.
And that is infuriating to me at every level.
Yep. I mean, how fucked up is it that somebody breaks into your house and you can use a Second Amendment item to take care of them, and you could still get sued for it or be held criminally liable? The motherfucker broke into my house.
I remember it's been years and years and years ago, but we probably all heard the story about the guy that's trying to break into a house. He's on this guy's roof. He falls through a skylight and lands on a butcher's knife, cuts his leg off. sues the homeowner. How is that the homeowner's fault?
Exactly.
Like
it just baffles me.
They didn't retaliate in any way, shape, or form. Like the guy literally just falls through the light
Yeah.
that he was trying to break into and lands on a knife. Well, sorry.
Agreed. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
But if you stop and think about it, there's a lot of stuff you can't do now today just over the fear of being sued.
Absolutely.
It's like, man, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It could be anything from having a party. If we just said, hey, we're going to have a big raging party here tomorrow night. Well, it's like, man, you got to be careful. Somebody has a wreck leaving here.
Yeah.
Now you're liable.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I didn't tell the guy to drink and drive.
The liability thing is huge anymore.
It's out of control.
It's ridiculous. Somebody's illegally hunting on your land.
Yeah.
But you didn't have a sign up. So why do I have to have a sign? He knows it's not his.
Exactly.
There's not a person in America that doesn't know what they own land-wise. But if they're hunting on you and they trip and fall, well, you didn't have a sign.
Yep.
Okay.
And I see that all the time on these Facebook groups. Everybody bitching, well, these fucking farmers won't let nobody hunt anymore. No, it's more of a liability thing. Now I'm not going to lose my whole fucking farm over some idiot that breaks his leg,
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not that I don't mind the hunting, this, that, and the other. It's the liability of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is infuriating.
Yeah, I don't know how we ever let it get that far out of hand.
It's like everything. It just grows and grows and grows,
Yep. I've been meaning to make a TikTok about this too, so health insurance, going up again, shocker.
Oh, yeah.
But why is it that this has always been the excuse in America, right? That no matter what, once we make something a law, well, you can't get rid of it now. Well, why can't we? You voted it into law. Why can't we vote it back out of law? Like they're just like, well, it's too big to stop now. No, it ain't.
No such thing as rolling back a government program, Tony.
I mean, I don't get that.
Once you got people on the dole, you can never take it away. You should be able to, but we've never seen it.
No, never.
You could see them pull it back some, but it never goes completely away.
No. All this Doge bullshit that Trump did, which I totally agreed with most of it. You wait and see. Every bit of that was going to trickle right back into where it was. It didn't say. It might have saved something for 6 months, but it's going to trickle right back.
It's going to trickle right back in, unfortunately.
Guaranteed.
Like I said, there's no such thing as getting rid of a government program. I mean, income tax, property tax, all that. Well, that was to fund a war, to fund this, that, and the other.
Yep.
But it's still a thing now. Well, we got used to the money, so we're just going to keep doing it.
So my argument to that is they're always wanting to take guns away, right? Well, you told me once shit's a law, we can't roll these laws back. It's too big to control. So why are we still fighting this and just let it go? I mean, what's the difference?
Well, because the reason they want your guns so they can push the other laws.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. Is once the Second Amendment is the only one that protects the rest of them.
Yep.
You lose that,
you're done.
You're done. You might as well just.
It never had anything to do with hunting or nothing. No. Like hunting was a given back when the Constitution was written. That's how you fucking fed your family. I mean, like that wasn't even a blip on the radar.
It was to protect yourself from a tyrannical federal government.
And it's amazing how many people don't realize and how they've twisted what like your Bill of Rights actually mean. Like I see this all the time, especially when it comes to taxes and stuff. What about separation of church and state, or anytime a church wants to do something, whatever? They don't realize that was set up to say that the government can't come out and say, Nick, you're a Catholic, or Nick, you're a Muslim, or that's all that means is a separation of church and state. You can be whatever religion you want and stand on every street corner and scream the Bible or whatever book you're reading as loud as you want, but the government cannot mandate you to be a certain religion. Is all that means.
It baffles me how little people know about actual history.
Oh, it's crazy.
Like textbook history today, I'm sure, is drastically different than our textbook history.
Oh, I'm sure.
And ours was watered down a lot.
Yeah.
But like they've never ventured outside of what somebody told them in a classroom and actually realized the real truth of it.
Agreed.
Like pick up a book once in a while. Do a little internet searching.
Yeah.
Like you can find out the real facts. And TikTok actually has been very good about that. Certain people, showing this point to, well, this is why this was done. This is how this was done, so on and so forth. Not saying all that's factual, but if you think it is or it isn't, research it a little bit. Yeah. Figure it out. Like pick your deal. The Civil War is a prime example. That had nothing to do with slavery at the end of the day.
No, states' rights.
States' rights. Lincoln threw that in at the end. The North was about to fold. They kind of got to a wash on the Battle of Antietam, I think it was, and he threw that in to keep the foreigners out of it. Well, they won't battle us if it's against this. Mm-hmm. But nobody knows that. It was about states' rights.
Exactly. And the only way slavery tied into that was, do you as a state, do you want slavery or not? That's essentially what they tried to sell it as at the end, But it all come down to states'
Absolutely.
That's how the U.S. was designed. Basically, if this state makes laws I don't want, then maybe I can move to this one over here that doesn't have that law. But now it's just blanket policies on fucking everything, and it's bullshit.
We got it at the county level right now in Illinois.
Yep.
It wasn't that long ago. If your county didn't want solar or wind, they could outlaw it. And then our useless governor said, well, no, that's a state decision. No, that was a county decision.
Agreed.
But now he's trumped all that, and now you have no ability to stop it.
Right.
Okay, great.
Technically, the way the government was set up to work, which it's got so big and out of control once again now, but it was supposed to be bottom up. You know, your local shit trumped everything.
Yes.
Like you had your Constitution, your Bill of Rights that you couldn't, in your local town, you couldn't say, well, you can't have firearms. Like that was a federal law, but now it's top down. Now it's
there
just
were
federal.
supposed to be 10 federal laws and a bunch of local ones that were local to you that you could affect, you could amend, you could do whatever with. Because you go 10 miles in any direction, it's different there than it is here on certain things. But that's not the way it works now.
Right. Yep.
You know, it's infuriating.
Yeah, but that was originally the way that was designed. You know, you had most of your laws at the local level because that directly affected you every day.
Absolutely.
But
it's not that way now, though.
No,
hell, Big Brother's going to hand them down to you. You know,
and it always baffles me this time of year. You know, you always the local newspaper will always publish 644 new laws coming, which usually is more like 6,000. You know, but it's like how many fucking laws do we? And actually, how many laws do we have? Like.
A lot.
I would like to know.
I mean, I'm not touting Jesse Ventura's thing, but I think at one point in time when he was governor of Minnesota, didn't he do a deal like, we're not passing any new laws till we get rid of old ones?
Oh, really?
Because we don't need any more. Like, the Bible's not getting any thicker.
Right.
We don't need extra laws.
Right.
And if we're passing a new one, we got to get rid of an old one. You know, and there's a ton of that stuff. We just keep they just keep chipping away at freedom every day.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're a long way from a free country at this point.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that would have been so wild to be alive in the late 1800s, like back when it really was kind of like the Wild West. Like you just done your own shit, took care of what you need to take care of, and nobody really told you yay or nay, and your dollar was worth something. And
they didn't have anybody to send if something did go awry, and that was okay. Things got worked out pretty quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. But man, once you got to about the 1900s, Jesus.
Yeah, it just started snowballing.
And actually, if you ever go read for you younger listeners, when the country was being founded, you had the Federalist Papers and the Anti-Federalist Papers.
Yep.
And it was kind of a for and against a big federal government.
Yep.
You know, and a lot of the people, looking back now, kind of makes sense. They're like, man, this is never going to work. Having one big central government in the U.S., it's too diverse of people. You can't pass a law in Washington, D.C. that's going to affect somebody in Hawaii. Like you guys are not only physically far apart, but your cultures are different. You do things different. And they said it wasn't going to work, and actually it's kind of coming true now. That's come full circle, I think.
Well, because originally it's like, well, we don't want a big central government. That's the whole reason we started our own country.
Exactly.
You know, we had the king. It wasn't working out that well.
Yep.
You know, but there again, history gets lost. People have to know their history. Yeah. You know, have to know their history, but most people don't anymore.
No.
You know, and it's sad.
And really. I don't know near what I should, but I've got a decent grasp on.
I'm in no way an expert on it, but the little things here and there, like on what triggered this, what started that, so on and so forth, like they have no idea.
Yeah, we were duped on a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to wars and different stuff. I mean,
World War I, Archduke whatever got shot.
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand. You realize they took a wrong turn?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they took a wrong turn.
Really?
But it was going to start anyway. That was what they were going to use for the catalyst, but like the guy wasn't where he was supposed to be, but then they took a wrong turn. He got popped anyway.
No kidding.
Bang, now we can start the war.
Yeah.
You know, World War II, we get sold this bill of goods. Why did World War II start? Because the Germans invaded Poland. What did we do with Poland at the end of World War II?
Yeah.
Gave them to the Russians. They were way better off under German control than they were under Russian control.
Exactly.
Like,
I will never stand up for Adolf Hitler. I don't mean that at all.
I'm not saying that, but
Stalin killed way more people than Hitler.
And we partnered with him.
Exactly.
So do the ends justify the means?
Yeah.
No.
That's what
he killed 20 million people before the war started.
Yeah.
You know?
And, we've heard them stories about how the Russians, when it comes to World War II, you just keep sending them.
Keep sending them.
It don't matter. Just don't run out of bullets. Just keep sending them.
Eisenhower was talking with a Russian general before the war, during the war, whatever it was. He's like, how do you guys keep breaking through these German lines? He's like, oh, it's easy. He's like, you just send a shitload of troops through the middle. He's like, that's all it takes? He's like, oh, yeah, that's all it takes. He's like, now the first ones just get slaughtered. But you just keep sending them. He's like, they run out of shit. You just keep sending them. Eisenhower's like, yeah, we're going to come up with a new plan. Like that.
Exactly.
We're not doing that. Right. Ike, to his credit, a great man, a
great president.
One of the best ones we ever had.
Totally overlooked.
Doesn't get the credit he should get. Actually, never fought in a war.
Really?
He missed World War I.
Yep.
And he was top
by then
tier by World War II.
Yep.
Like, I don't think he ever actually
wasn't
fought
seeing
in combat, but still super great at it. In a television world, he would have never made it. His thing was he liked to dwell on decisions for a little bit, like major decisions. So he would go play a couple holes of golf, think about it, and then he would come up with the right answer. But in today's world, he'd get crucified for it.
Yeah.
But really good president.
Yep. Vietnam was
one of the
shit
few ones that never put us in a war.
Yeah, that would be right.
Almost the only one prior to Trump, I think.
Really?
That didn't get us in some sort of conflict.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Eisenhower would have been in the early 50s.
Yeah. Well,
he was after Truman.
He was after Truman
When did Korea break out? 53? I'd have to go back and look now when Truman would have took over in 45 when Roosevelt, or 44 maybe. Mm-hmm. And then
he got elected in there once.
So he would have been in for 5 to 6 years. I don't know the exact dates.
Yeah.
So about 1950-ish, he would have went out and Eisenhower would have come in. When did Korea start? I don't remember.
I don't remember now, but I'm sure I read somewhere that he didn't get us into anything.
Really?
I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I don't think he did, because he would have when his 8-year term expired, he handed it off to Kennedy, and that would have been in the 60s, right?
60, I think.
Yeah.
Because Kennedy got killed in 63 and was running for re-election, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Regardless, Eisenhower, good dude. He saw the bigger picture, and he warned us 1,000 times about the military industrial complex, and that he was 100% right about that. And Kennedy found out about that the hard way.
Yep.
But the tail starts wagging the dog.
Yeah.
But nobody in history remembers that either.
Right.
You know.
Ain't it funny how, you would think that the president of the U.S. would be held in high regards, would be an honorable man, a man of intelligence. You would think.
Yeah.
And you never see this until they're out of office. You're like, this guy was a fucking total buffoon. I'll be the first to admit, I voted for George W. Bush. I wouldn't vote for that motherfucker right now. Now, he was the better choice of the two.
Over who he ran against, I would vote for him again.
Which is the ultimate way we've been duped, right? Just the lesser of two evils, which don't make it right. But what do you do? I mean,
what do you do?
Somebody's taking the job.
You only have 2 options, so you got to pick one. Yeah. If Al Gore had been president during 9/11, he'd still be worried about the smoke.
Oh, agreed. Yeah.
Exactly. We'd still be dealing with the dust and the smoke.
Yep.
So I'll give GW credit for that, but yeah, it's usually a lesser of two evils choice.
Yeah. And the bad part is after 9/11, that went on to turn into a giant shit show that never went as far as it did. And I'll be the first to admit the time kind of for it, But yeah, we were
gung ho. Let's go after him, but we got lied to.
Absolutely.
And that's a whole other podcast on all that. But
I think at the end of the day, the American people, whether we agree or disagree, just want to be told the truth. Don't lie to you. Just fucking tell me, and then we can decide from there.
But if you start digging back through history, Tony, we haven't been told the truth very often.
No. And politics were as dirty in the 1800s as they are today.
Absolutely.
Don't misunderstand that.
Yeah, it's always been dirty. It's always been a dirty business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is a river of dirty money.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why some countries have to have a dictator.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely.
Some of those third world shit boxes, you just have to pick a dictator that you can influence to run it correctly, because they cannot deal with democracy or republic or whatever.
No.
And at this point, I don't know how well we're dealing with it.
Agreed. Yeah. I can't tell you that we're the model for what should be going on by any stretch of the mile.
It's been pretty rough for a long time.
I would like to know the corruption in other countries. I don't follow it enough. And I mean, I know there's tons of it, especially your South American countries and this and that. But just take Russia. Putin runs Russia with an iron fist.
Yeah.
How much corruption? I'm sure there's some, clearly.
I'm sure there's. Yeah.
But is it as bad as the U.S.? Not as bad? I would like to know that.
Yeah, that's the thing about Russia. You're never going to know.
You're never going to know.
You're never going to know, because they keep it all pretty close to the chest and pretty tight-lipped.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you hear stories about the Russian mob or this, that, and the other, which makes the Italian mob look like,
like nothing.
Kindergartners.
Yeah.
The Russian mob is tenfold.
It is
worse.
I've always been fascinated with the countries like Russia or North Korea, like where you don't know anything about them. Like I've just always been fascinated, want to learn about them.
But you can't.
But you can't.
But you can't. Yeah, they're not letting you in for that.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine somebody in North Korea, if you could just pluck any random 60-year-old that's just a peasant in North Korea right now, just pluck them out of there and just drop them off in the U.S. right now? I mean, they don't even know internet exists. I mean, they don't know anything, you know. I can't imagine the shock that would be.
The Cold War stuff always amazes me, I guess is the right word, maybe. I got to think we were way easier to infiltrate than Russia.
Oh,
right?
I would think.
Because you can drop off people of any race, color, or creed here and blend them into something, get them into a government position, and they're a double agent, so on and so forth. We're not doing that in Russia.
Right, exactly.
You're just not.
Yeah.
You know, the best guy in the world that doesn't look like they need him to look.
Yeah.
He ain't making it to the top of the Russian pile.
Yeah. Well, it would be no different, and I've never been there, but I don't imagine there's a lot of Chinese people in Saudi Arabia. Maybe there is, but I'm just saying.
Probably not.
You're not going to use that as your infiltrate guy.
No, probably not.
But here, we're so diverse and let all this stuff come in.
That's how, look at Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
We had all these Japanese people taking pictures, this, that, and the other, because they're tourists and they're this and they're that, and it's no big deal, and they got cameras in their lunchbox, whatever. We don't notice. In Russia, that's not happening. Like, you drop them off there, that guy's not supposed to be here.
Exactly. Yeah. People's asking questions.
He's up to something.
Yeah.
It's
funny. I always think of the movie, and I know you've seen it 100 times too, Lord of War with Nicolas Cage.
Absolutely.
So when basically the Cold War's over and Russia collapses,
yes,
I always think, how would that go down in the U.S.? Like, basically, you're starting from scratch. Like, who are your major power players that are just vacuuming all this up? I mean, we probably know it's going to be your Clintons, your
the screwy part about that is there was all those other countries besides Russia that all went some way, but they had all those stockpiles everywhere, which that was a real deal. I remember I was in college, one of my physics professors, who was a great guy, he's like, we knew where every silo Russia had was, for the most part. He's like, we were not worried about those at all because they'd all been stripped of the copper. When things went down, they were poor. Like, as soon as the government wasn't over top all that, they got stripped. He's like, the mobile ones, we had a pretty good idea how many they had. Like the backpack ones, the small ones, this, that, and it was like, we have no idea where those went, how many they had, who's got them now. Like, no idea.
That's the scary part.
That's the scary part.
Because we don't know, were they bluffing? Did they not have any? Did they have 100,000? We have no idea.
Take the AK. Like, I got to think that movie is somewhat factual. Like, I'm sure they had stockpiles and stockpiles and stockpiles.
Sure.
Which is why every third world country has a million of them.
Exactly.
They armed a bunch of those, trying to make them allies back then. But eventually, at some point in time, like, we come across this warehouse that's got 4 million of them in them.
Yeah.
Well, there's nobody here to monitor it. We like to make some cash. We're going to sell them off, right? Like, we don't need 4 million of them. We'd like the cash. So if that happened here, it would be a little different because we all want our one country, but still, it would be of course, it may split in state to state where every state's a country or something. Like that would be a unique deal.
I guess it's always the people with the most information that get ahead, right? So, I mean, clearly when a country goes down, now your currency's worth nothing. All that goes away.
That goes away.
You use $1 million today and nothing tomorrow because your currency's gone. But most of them power players know what's coming in advance before you or I do to get positioned. But
we're not in a very good spot because I don't know of any large military stockhold in our area,
right? Or if it is, it's top secret. Like, there's never been any urban legends that's a military.
I mean, like VX Gas, I think they keep that in Terre Haute or something,
right?
You always hear about the stuff in Denver underneath the city. They got this, they got that. There's a whole city built underneath it, whatever. There's all those stuff. But like here, we're like, we're kind of, we just grow corn.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to feed the people, and hopefully they bring something back with them. Yeah.
I try to watch a lot of stuff on YouTube about people that travel to these countries because. In my mind, I think of Russia as this great, big, humongous country, but it's full of poor people. But it's actually not. I mean, I'm not saying there ain't a lot of poor people there.
Russia intrigues me a lot.
It does, me too. But it's sort of where, I'm not going to say we've been lied to, but we just was never really taught about it. Like, we didn't talk about it,
Yeah.
But no, it's very modern.
I don't think they had any information about it to teach us.
Well, that could be, because we was at the height of the Cold War.
They're the evil communists. Okay, I can get on board with that. I'm not a fan. But that's all we know.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have any information because there was no information to be had.
Agreed.
Like, they're not letting CNN go in there and do an interview at that point in time.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. It's very intriguing. You would think that a country like that, though, would just be a powerhouse, as big as it is with the vast resources and
Had they been capitalists, they would have been.
Absolutely. Yep.
Sadly, our generation probably knows more from Rocky IV about Russia than anything else. Like that's where we got most of our information.
Yeah.
We watched him chop wood to train. He beats the shit out of the Russian. Okay. If you work hard enough, you can beat chemicals and
yeah, you're not wrong.
Like that. That was the only real. Otherwise, it was all not war movies, but like I mentioned to you earlier, like Firefox was a great movie Clint Eastwood did back in the day. And he had to steal this Russian plane. They had this next level fighter jet, and he steals it or whatever. So you see a little bit of that, but I don't know if any of that's true. In more recent times, The Americans, it was a good TV show. Have you ever seen it? Where they train 2 sleeper agents, they move them to America, and they're American citizens, but they're double agents, and they work their way through, and they're given all this intel, so on and so forth. Which, back to my point, it would have been way easier to do that here than it would be there.
Agreed.
But eventually they fall in love with America. And they have kids here in the whole 9 yards, and they're like, shit, we kind of like it here, but we're loyal to Mother Russia, but like,
yeah,
it's kind of better here. Like,
right.
Maybe we should defect and just become Americans.
Exactly.
Like, maybe this isn't that bad. Right. I'm not sure what we're fighting for.
Right.
Yeah. The Cold War has so many great stories that will never be told. That I don't know them either, obviously. But there's so many things happening.
That was a big spy game, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool tech that got invented. A lot of cool things that happened behind the scenes. This person's doing that, and that influences this, and we'll never know the real history on that. Our government's kept it secret. Their government's kept it secret. There's a lot of power players in there. We're never going to know the truth. But there was a lot of things, a lot of neat things. And neat's probably not the right word. A lot of terrible things, but there's some neat things that go with it.
Yeah. Years ago, Dad and I went and listened to this guy. It was through a grain marketing deal, but they had a bunch of speakers, and kind of at the end as a cap, they just pulled out somebody random. Didn't have nothing to do with farming or whatever, just an interesting speaker. And this guy was a CIA agent for the U.S., but he had infiltrated into Russia. And I don't remember now how the story all went, but I just remember it was the most fascinating hour and a half of my life ever hearing this guy talk. But the one thing that I do remember was he was so deep in it, like, you can't tell your family, your wife, your in-laws, nothing, what's going on. And he said, and then basically once you retire, then they leave it up to you. If you want to tell them what you did, or as far as you were an agent, you can. If you don't, whatever, that's your deal. And he always said, I know my in-laws had to think I was just a raging piece of shit, because could never get, you always had to make an excuse, well, I'm working over here at the paint factory, well, then shit gets changed, lost my job, got to do this. So he said, I knew they thought I was a total piece of shit. And here you're actually doing a very noble profession. But you got to keep it under wraps.
Keep it under wraps.
But, he had told a bunch of shit about in Russia and the times he had damn near got killed. And I don't remember the stories now, but it was really, really cool to hear the guy talk.
I remember there's an old farmer who used to come in the shop. He's gone now, God rest his soul, but he talked about one time, not on the spy side of it, but like, I think it was Japanese guys had come over and they crawled up a grain bin, looked in a grain bin, and they're like, what's this? Like, bin full of corn. It's like, that's not what it looks like when it gets to us. Like, really? He's like, no, it's half full of gravel and trash and this, that, and the other. He's like, you guys have bins full of this everywhere? And I'm like, yeah. They go to like 10 neighboring farms. He opens the lid on all of them. They all look the same. He's like, that is nothing like what we're getting on the barge when it comes to our place. And that's nowhere near the spy level, but it's like, shit, we're duping people in every which direction, like, yeah. So you bought 10 billion bushel of corn, but we're going to send you a lot of gravel.
Yep.
You can pick it out. You got some manpower.
And anytime the government's involved, whether it's trading grain or oil or take your pick, somebody in the middle is shady. We see that all the way down to the local level. It don't matter if they're going to cut logs off of some state ground here. Somebody screws the system somewhere.
Absolutely.
And it happens all the way up the chain. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it does boggle the mind.
But there's so much history that I would love to know that we don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Probably will never know. Would love to go through the secret libraries that the government has.
I would too.
The Presidential Book of Secrets.
Yes, exactly. And I want the real one, not the one they're showing on TV.
I want the real one. I want to flip through that,
Like, how many major terrorist attacks have we been within an inch of here in the U.S., just major catastrophic stuff.
Yeah, that we stopped or...
and you can't announce it. Then you're going to have sheer panic.
Yeah, just a lot of little things in there. Just even the real history, the bigger picture on some of that stuff would be super interesting to know.
Yep.
And I suppose the public maybe can't know that. I mean, maybe that incites panic or incites this, that, and the other. But it would be nice to know some as a. I won't call myself a student of history because I'm not as good about it as I should be. But someone that's interested in history,
Yes.
I would love to know some of the key decisions.
Right.
And some of that's by clear chance. I know I've talked about this before, but the book Operation Paperclip or whatever, like where that guy decides on his own, shit, I'm going to grab 6 trucks and all the guys I can find, and I'm going to go take all the V2 rocket shit I can find in this cavern, documents, prototypes, missiles, whatever, and gather them up. I don't have time to wait to get it cleared. I'm just going to go do it. We end up, quote unquote, on the moon over that. If he doesn't do that, that never happens.
Right.
Like, but that was one guy's decision. It's like, yeah, I can't wait for the brass to make this decision. I'm just going to go get this deal. And he says in the book, he's like, my biggest regret was I didn't blow it up when I left.
Yeah.
Because we had to leave it for the Russians.
Yeah.
And they marched the same people right back in there, set them down at the same lathe that they were at 2 weeks ago, and turned production on 10 minutes later.
Yep.
You know, just little things like that. And that's one of a minuscule amount of, we got a very small glimpse of that. There was 10,000 of those decisions that were made somewhere.
There was a million decisions in World War II where, I mean, we were within an inch of losing that war.
Every time, all the time.
We just happened to blow this bridge up by chance.
Yeah.
Some guy missed his target and actually hit the bridge by mistake. And
But before the war started, we dropped some paratroopers off, and their mission was to save this bridge, because if the Germans are going to blow this bridge, and then that's going to screw the invasion up. They send the Germans send a couple of tanks. They have like one sticky bomb that they throw at it, blow up a tank, and the Germans like, oh shit, they've got a whole battalion, and they leave.
and it was like 6
It
guys.
was like 6 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're like, I can't believe they left. Like, had that not happened, like it screws up the whole deal.
Exactly.
And that's right. I think, God was on our side on wanting us to win that deal for the greater good. But if that goes the other way,
Exactly.
another 50,000 people get killed.
Yep.
Our grandpas don't have our dads. We don't exist anymore.
Yeah, agreed. Totally, yeah.
We're not having this conversation right now because we never happened.
Yes.
It's just very, very interesting on all that. And that was always my dad's bitch to Vietnam. It's like, oh, they're sending these guys up this hill. What's at the top of the hill? Nothing. So we give it up, and then we send them people up there 2 days later to take the same damn hill, get more men slaughtered for no real reason because there was nothing there.
That was nothing more than the military-industrial complex cleaning out the shit from World War II. That's all that was.
Absolutely.
You will not convince me otherwise. There was no reason to be there.
That was all money.
At the end of the day, we gave it back anyway, just like we did Afghanistan. Like there was no purpose. At least World War II, you've depending on how you want to you've solved the problem, you've fixed something, whatever, but you weren't, World War II, you weren't just taking shit and giving it back, In
my opinion, World War II should have went like this. We're going to free France, and we tell the Germans, hey, we're not crossing past the French border. You guys take all your shit to the Russian front, and you guys slaughter each other.
Yep.
You guys fight it out until your little hearts are content. We'll pick up the pieces in the end.
Yep.
Like, go after it.
Yep.
And you guys shoot each other all you want,
Yeah. I don't know. I cannot imagine trying to coordinate a war the size of World War II.
Oh my gosh, the logistics of that,
is just absolutely mind-boggling.
And why do you think, so that plays into modern day things now. What do you think China is so hell-bent on stealing all our manufacturing?
Oh, yeah.
For the longest time, and they still do it, but not to the level they used to do it, but we'll build that for a loss. Because if we can close down this plant and you depend on us, because how did we win World War II? Because we could out-manufacture everybody.
Exactly.
Because we were basically independent. None of our factories had been bombed. So,
right.
You got to give it to the Germans. Like, they made a lot of shit for a country that literally every factory's got a hole in it.
Yeah. And in a country of physically that big of size.
No,
I mean, it's...
with that many natural resources, that many people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're digging out mountains to build shit underground.
Yeah. They flat fucking got with it. I will give them that.
Like,
it was impressive.
I mean, they did have some slaves, which obviously helps. But, that's why China wants our manufacturing. So we lose that capability. Back then, every company in the United States is like, well, we're done building cars.
Yeah.
We're building tanks, planes.
M1 Grands. I mean,
M1 Grand, whatever you need.
Yeah.
We can build it.
Rockola Jukeboxes was building M1 Grands.
Right over here, 10 miles from us, the bobby pin factory. Mm-hmm. They built the pull pins for hand grenades, right, at the time?
Yeah.
I believe so.
That's what I heard.
The last bobby pin company in the United States, still to this day, 10 miles from us, integral to the war.
Yep.
Like,
that's the cool patriotic part.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing I wish I would have asked my grandpa and grandma. And of course, information didn't flow as instant back then as it does now. Like, you didn't get on an iPhone and read what somebody in New York was doing. It come either by word of mouth or newspaper. So maybe it happened, but nobody knew. But nowadays, just right off the bat, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if we got invaded by pick your country, and 3 million of them showed up here and just started slaughtering people. There would be a million people in this country that would bitch because we're fighting back.
Absolutely,
they're bitching just to hear themselves bitch. You know, where I don't think here in the U.S. you had any of that. Like, everybody pulled together. Like, we're going to win this fucking war.
So my father-in-law's point on this always is that's part of the reason they did the rations. He's like, it wasn't that we were short on that shit. He's like, that way everybody was participating in the war.
Makes sense.
That you had a stake in it. Okay, I'm not going to consume too much sugar this week. I'm not going to have too many of this, that, whatever, because I'm helping the war effort. He's like, it's not that we didn't necessarily have it as a country.
Right.
It's that everybody was, there was nobody that was anti-World War II, right? Like, have you ever heard anybody protesting World War II?
No.
I don't know that there was a single protest for that.
No.
And as much as I hate the Vietnam protesters, I think they treated our troops like shit. They had a point, kind of, sort of. I'm not advocating for them, but like, I see why they were against the war, because there was a little bit of bullshit in there. I mean, there was a lot of bit of bullshit in there. But like I said, World War II was probably the last one where we united as a country.
You fought a war to win it.
Yes.
We weren't here just fucking around.
Yeah. You know, Gulf War I seemed like, of course, we were pretty young when that happened.
Yeah, 91.
It seemed like everybody was on board for that-ish. But then you get the backstory on that, and it's like, well, I mean, were we that good of friends with the Kuwaitis?
Well, you and I never even heard of Kuwait until that happened.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I'm pro-military, so anything the military decides that they need to do, I'm on board. But, like, Kuwait was kind of milkshaking the Iraqis. Like, I mean, their little sliver of that oil field is about the size of this shed, and they were drilling at a pretty good angle to get under Iraq shit, right? Like, maybe Saddam was a little justified in saying, hey, did he push too far? I mean, obviously. But then you look at it, it's like, well, that's why Bush, like, well, we're not going to completely annihilate him, because we take Saddam out, then we've got a shit show. Yeah. And then 20, 30 years later, wherever it was, we end up taking him out, and now we've got a shit show.
Exactly.
Like, maybe we should have left his ass, you know? Maybe we were better off with him running it.
Comes back to where sometimes you're better to leave these people in power. You know, the country don't go to shambles and people fucking kill
maybe you just back them in a corner and be like, hey, we control you now. We own your ass now.
Exactly.
And you're going to do what we say for the most part.
Yeah.
You know?
You always change your views as you get older. I'm firmly convinced of that. You know, the older you get, you think different. You
absolutely.
You've seen more, and you think, well, you know, actually, maybe I don't agree with that anymore. And I do understand now why a lot of countries hate us. I wouldn't want Chinese tanks rolling up and down our streets. Would you? 24 hours a day? I wouldn't. I wouldn't like that at all. That would drive me nuts. And so now I see why when we go do all this shit, why? Because we always were sold the bill of goods. We're helping them people, and we're like, why are they fucking throwing rocks at people, man? I mean, like. But I get it now. Yeah. Like, just leave us alone.
I understand it more now, for sure. And we fought all these covert wars. Charlie Wilson's war, prime example. Yep. We fight all these covert wars, and we fund this, and we prop this up, so on and so forth, but we never do the backside of it where we tell them, hey, we were the ones helping you.
Exactly.
So they're like, and Afghanistan's a weird world. Like, there's villages everywhere. They never talk. They don't go that far away.
Yeah.
You know, so they never got the memo that we were the ones helping them.
Yep.
You know, you can't police the world.
No, you can't.
You know,
and I don't remember if you and I mentioned this on a podcast or if it was just sitting here in the shed randomly talking one night. We talked about fighting war. Like, we've never had a war in South America. Like, we've been everywhere else.
Yeah.
Literally, Africa, Europe, Asia, you name it.
Half of Germany goes to South America. We don't do anything about it.
Right.
We send a couple CIA guys to look around.
Right. But now it looks like we're heating things up in Venezuela.
Well, Trump's basically said we're not policing the world. We're just taking care of our hemisphere.
Yeah.
Which I can kind of get on board with.
And I'll preface this by saying I haven't followed enough, just because I've got to the point that, you know this, that I've swore off politics and news. I'm done with it. Now, the little snippets that I've caught, I'm not saying this is true, but now if there's sanctioned oil coming out of Venezuela that ain't supposed to be, then that should be dealt with, in my humble opinion. Yeah. Because otherwise, what are we doing? I mean, but I'm not saying we need to start a war either. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
I can't imagine that'll last too long.
I wouldn't think. I mean, a country that was literally broke 2 years ago or whatever it was.
I can't fathom that they have enough of anything to fight us very long.
No. But there the problem lies, you know, then does Russia say, well, that's our buddy, so now they're, you know what I mean? You start dragging other people into the fucker, and then...
Yeah. I mean, take the Cuban Missile Crisis. We were
Yeah.
10 seconds away there from either not existing, owning the world, or being a huge shit show on fire.
Yeah.
You know?
And that come down to a bluffing game is all that come down to.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That's where grammar won.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
We use grammar because what was it? We couldn't have a blockade. How was that? We couldn't use the one term. We couldn't, what's the right word? I think blockade's what we end up using.
Yeah, we use naval blockade.
But we couldn't, what's the other term for that? Basically, we couldn't freeze them out, but we could have a blockade.
Oh, so you're saying, well, like we couldn't just turn them into ice, like we couldn't just cut the whole country up. You're saying, like,
No, there's a term for it. We couldn't put up a military wall essentially in the ocean, but we could have a blockade. I can't think of the right term.
like an iron curtain type.
More or less. That's not the right term for it, but yeah, we couldn't have that. But we used a blockade to stop it. Yeah, and then we stopped the Russian ships or whatever. But we couldn't have. I can't forget what the term was. There was an act of war.
Yeah,
but we used blockade as a way to get around it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how sometimes just little either snap decisions one way or the other have changed an outcome.
No, absolutely.
Like we've always been sold the bill of goods. I'm not saying this is true or not, that maybe Roosevelt knew that the Japanese was going to attack Pearl Harbor. Whether you believe he did or didn't, I don't know.
I think he did.
Which would make it's totally plausible to get us out of the Depression and get into this thing.
But Churchill was begging us.
Yeah.
Roosevelt wanted to end, but he had no way to sell it to the American people.
Yep, exactly.
Now, do I think they thought it was going to be as bad as it was? No. Are we super lucky that they didn't blow that fuel depot and the ship repair yard? If they'd have launched the third wave, World War II starts off on a very downturn.
Yeah. Because we didn't really have shit going into that war to start with. I mean, wasn't like we had a giant military. I mean,
it is very suspicious that all our carriers happened to be out that day, and the shit that they did blow up was old World War II vintage shit,
Yeah.
But if they'd have launched the third wave, that could have went drastically different. But
World War I is the one I need to do more research on. I don't know a lot about it just because I've never researched it. But World War II, you were getting into great big battles with modern, firearms, weapons, airplanes.
Is the cool part for me.
Right, exactly.
We're building this. World War I, it's brutal.
Oh,
we're going to dig a trench.
Yeah,
and we're going to shoot at each other. We're going to pop up like whack-a-mole every little bit and shoot across this trench.
And it was a fucking gas war, basically. Like you were just going to start fucking lobbing gas back and forth at each other. I mean, that war was fucking brutal.
You see those clips once in a while of the landscape where they fought, and those, the trenches are filled in-ish, but it's still, it was flat. We dug a trench, they dug a trench. Somebody put some barbed wire out. We threw some shit back and forth.
Yep.
We blew some shit up. Like it was drastically different, World War II started out on horseback.
Yes.
And ended up with awesome technology by the end.
Fuck yeah, V2 rockets and
jet airplanes,
nuclear.
Literally nuclear by the end. Yeah. It's like that's a huge swing too. Yeah, I'm riding my horse and then this A-bomb launch detected.
No shit.
Like that's a different deal there.
Yeah. Remember Jay Hickman? Where do you want to be in case of a nuclear blast? Somewhere where I could say, what the fuck was that?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Old Jay Hickman, great comedian. But, you think about back to the little things that change the scope of the war. Like, do you remember seeing anything on the big missile deal that Germany was developing? Basically, it was going to level Britain. It was going to take them off the face of the map. And this thing was a couple 100 feet deep, if I remember right. Like, it was this awesome deal, and they hadn't staffed it yet. They didn't have enough people, so on and so forth. And this guy was lost. He was on a recon mission, but he was lost. And they always kept it, it looked like normal grass shit on top, but they happened to have it open that day as they were working on it because, nobody's flying over this thing. It's kind of in this obscure location. And this Hanyok mistakenly flies over it, and he's like, that doesn't look right. What the hell's that? He jots it down on his map. He gets back. He tells his commanding officer, hey, I think we ought to look into this. There's some shit going on over here. He's like, I was a little bit lost, but this over here is not really right. Like, shit. We sent a couple of planes over it. Like, that guy actually did something with with the memo and did something with it. We send some planes over it, find out, by God, they are building something there, and we bombed the shit out of it before they ever got it operational. Had they got it operational, like Britain doesn't exist anymore. That thing had some insane firing rate for these giant missile, or they weren't missiles, but bombs of some fashion. Like, just sheer dumb luck, this guy's lost. Just on a Tuesday afternoon, just driving around in his Jeep looking for rubber ducks to put on his dash and stumbles across this German freaking bomb silo. It's like, oh, shit. Well, I'll look into that.
It's amazing. Today we're sending missiles, whatever, with pinpoint accuracy with GPS. Back then, V2 rocket, shoot the fucker towards Britain, and somebody called me. Need to adjust.
So do you remember? Did you ever see anything on this? The Germans used to they would send guys to Britain to get the newspaper.
Yeah, to get the newspapers.
To find out where the bombs were hidden.
Exactly.
Because they had all those on the trains, on the train tracks, and they're like, okay, take it 10 foot down the track, and they'd send another one, and they'd wait for the report. Oh shit. Okay, take it another 10 foot. Like
get your fucking report by newspaper.
Right, newspaper. Yeah. We're gonna wait for the enemy to report where we hit, and then adjust from there.
But
the thing that always amazed me about the Germans in that deal is, like, they started off with this blitzkrieg war. We're going to take this fast. We're going to do it this way. And then partway through the war, they're like, no. We're done with that. We're going to build these giant concrete structures.
Yeah.
That take all this manpower, and on the off chance that they come this way, then we've got all this shit. But, oh, by the way, we can't afford to put guns in them. We don't have any guns to put in them, so on and so forth. Like, and all that shit's still standing for the most part. That sub pen, how many times did we bomb that sub pen?
Oh, shit.
I think we finally busted the top level, kind of, sort of, a little bit, but like...
Yeah, which was easy for the Americans. Like, well, fucking just go around it. Like, use all your resources. We'll just go over here.
Well, it's like the French. We're going to build the Maginot Line. You think about it, go around the end of it? Oh, surely not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave it to the French.
It turns out the Germans were willing to go around the end.
Exactly. I sit there and think, though, so, like, take by the end of the war, the Manhattan Project, who the fuck sits around and thinks, you know what, we got these little atoms that nobody can see, nobody can touch, feel nothing, but if we split one of them in half, it causes this giant fucking like who figured this out?
Like, the Germans, and we stole them.
Right, but I mean,
I just saw a video on why that was called the Manhattan Project, because they were planning on bombing Manhattan. The Germans were going to bomb Manhattan.
Really?
I think was the deal. And then we obviously recruited some of those people, stole them, whatever, and that's why it was called the Manhattan Project.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yep.
But think how many AC was integral.
Oh, Alice Chalmers, absolutely.
Big time. Into that whole deal.
Yep.
But there again, you can pull that off when you're not being bombed every day.
Yes, exactly. It makes it way, way easier.
But what kind of LSD are you on to be thinking, wonder what happens if I split these atoms? Will that make a big explosion?
Yeah. Well, let's try it.
Let's try it. Yeah. We got nothing else going on today. Yeah.
I mean, I wonder what the first guy who set one of them off. I mean, like
they probably fired the first guy. They're like, that guy's a dipshit. Send him home.
Exactly. This guy's a fucking idiot. But once they finally get which I don't know I know we were the first to use it in war, but had a nuclear weapon ever even been tested anywhere else in the world? I don't know that.
I don't think so. I think the Germans were close-ish till we snagged all their scientists. But I don't think they'd ever. But
I wonder, everybody that watched that, I wonder when that went off, if they're like, holy fuck.
That went a little further than we thought. That escalated quickly. Yeah. Might be a little more than we thought.
Yeah. I've always said that's probably how Truman was when he dropped the first one on Japan. He's like, all right, motherfuckers. And he dropped the first one, and he's like, oh, fuck. That's done a little bit more than we done. Yeah. So they talk him into it 2 days later after they get drunk, and then he drops one more. He's like, all right, we're not doing this again. Like, we're done.
Well, we didn't have any more to drop.
Exactly.
We bluffed on that.
Yeah.
And I saw a good video on that a while back on why, because I was under the thing. I'm like, why to bomb Tokyo? Because I'm an asshole like that. But we didn't do that because we didn't want to take the emperor out, because we needed somebody to surrender.
Oh, well, it makes sense.
If we kill him, then the chain of command breaks down.
Right, and then now it's all scattered.
So that's why we didn't do Tokyo, and it's heavily defended. It's like, well, we'll do these others. But one of those cities we weren't supposed to bomb, but it was foggy.
Yeah, it was foggy or something. I've seen that, yep.
Did you ever seen the video on the guy that was at both cities?
Oh, well, yes,
he was
actually,
at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like, talk about a bad week.
Yeah, because they're like the most unlucky guy in the fucking planet.
No shit. Yeah. What'd you do today? I dodged a nuke. What'd you do yesterday?
Dodged a
nuke. You know, like, talk about a bad week.
Yeah, and to think, that the two that we used in World War II ain't a blip on the radar to what we have today. I mean, ain't even close.
No.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, we were so unsure with that deal. Like, we're going to send one of each, because one was a fission, one was a fusion, if I remember right.
Yep.
Well, let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll drop them. But there was so much luck in even getting those over there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because they were sinking our boats and this, that, and the other, and we happened to sneak them through. Got them on planes that didn't get shot down. Like, there was a lot of luck in all that.
Yeah.
Or divine power.
Yeah, I cannot imagine trying to fight a war scattered literally all the way around the fucking globe. Other than the U.S. was the only place that wasn't, in South America, that wasn't being attacked. But, I mean, you literally went from Hawaii all the fucking way around.
Yeah. You'd have thought we'd have noticed some of the subs dropping Germans off in South America while we're taking our cruise around over to Japan, but I guess not.
Yeah.
I always get a chuckle out of those videos where they're cruising through the jungles of South America, and it's like, we think this might have been a German establishment. There's concrete pillars, towers, pillboxes, this, that, and the other. And it's like everything else is living in huts and, wooden shacks and so on and so forth. The Germans got everything built out of stone. They've got, towers. Yeah, I'd say that's probably German.
Yeah, exactly.
Got this guy with blue eyes. We're not sure where he came from.
Yeah.
I know where he came from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You ain't fooling me.
Yeah.
Which, I wonder, why didn't the U.S. go after... I mean, we knew they were... I mean, it was just like
I think we sent some people down there to like kind of look into it, but I think we were so busy with the Nuremberg trials and
and just to clean up
the fallout of war
and the Cold War immediately, and
immediately ensues, and it wasn't a top priority. And who knows? Maybe we got a bunch of them.
Yeah, well, that's what always makes me wonder
never
too.
Reported it. I mean, I don't get South American newspapers, so maybe we got a bunch of them, and nobody ever told us.
Or did we bring the good ones back? Or not good, but the knowledgeable ones for information, and the ones that were left were just the dipshits anyway.
I mean, Tony, like the Operation Paperclip, like we should have executed every one of those guys. Like we shouldn't have brought them back. Like I get why we brought them back, and I get why maybe they weren't Nazis, but your choice is build this, do this, or we kill you and your family.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to start doing some math. I'm going to start building whatever you want me to build. But we ended up making them heroes. I mean, Werner von Braun was pretty highly regarded in the United States.
Yeah.
He was pretty high up the list.
Right.
As a pretty not that great guy.
Right.
And
I guess, is that where they look at it as a trade-off? Okay, yeah, he was a dickbag here in Europe, but he advanced the U.S. military X amount with his knowledge. I don't know what they...
I mean, to my understanding, a bunch of those scientists were like in the Alps, hanging out at a ski resort, just waiting for the Americans to get there. Like they'd heard everything was crumbling. They were just hanging out. They were well-fed, just basically relaxing, waiting for somebody to show up to take them somewhere better.
Yep. So do you think the leader of Germany with the funny mustache, do you think he offed himself, or do you think...
No, he didn't off himself. He lived to be an old man in South America.
You think so? Yeah,
if I
don't know either way. The
only word we got for it is the Russians, which you clearly can't trust, and the DNA test they did on the skull later wasn't his.
Yeah.
So, and then you see those pictures from South America. That guy looks an awful lot like him if it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Now, do I think he was humble enough to just reside there and not try to do something else? That I struggle with.
Right.
But
he was a whack job. I mean, clearly.
With the drugs.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the drugs is probably what got to him. Not saying he was a great guy before that, but then you listen to those speeches now that they've been translated to English, if those are real, and I'm not saying they are, but I kind of understand how he got a following behind him.
Oh yeah,
kind of, sort of, like very powerful speaker saying some things that make sense at the time.
Germans were living great lives under him. I mean, I'm not
way better than they were before him. For a brief period of time.
Not sticking up for the guy, but they were
absolutely not. Terrible human being, but
you can see how it happened.
You can see how it happened. We've seen it in this country, not to that scale, but you see how people want hope and change. We're going to do all this stupid shit under the guise of hope and change. Okay, sure. If you like your policy, you can keep it. Anyway.
Yeah.
There's no way he just offed himself in that bunker. Just like
I would find it hard to believe, but I'm not saying he did or didn't, but I would find it hard to believe. Guys as insulated as him don't just eat a bullet at the end. I don't think. Maybe they do, but
I think he was out of there a week before that.
Yeah.
Maybe not. It still boggles my mind how much shit they built.
Oh,
for a company that literally was dirt poor broke when he came into power and built all this shit with what I don't know. Where'd they get the money? They built all this shit in literally 10 years.
Yeah. And then during the war, you're getting just heavily bombed the entire fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, you either had a bunch of shit fucking stockpiled or, like how do you pull that off? Like
to the point, have you ever seen the video of when they were because they had a jet airplane that they didn't think they needed. And at the end, they're like, oh, shit, we do need this. So they literally didn't have any place to launch them from. So they get this deal that basically takes them up a mountain sideways. And they cleared a flat spot off on the top of this mountain to launch them. The hell do you talk people into building this, essentially an escalator, up the side of a mountain
to carry a fucking jet,
to carry a jet airplane that's never been tested at this point, to get somebody in it to fly this thing, to hope like hell it's going to work? Like, I mean, it's pretty flat where we're at. You couldn't get 5 guys to push a Z71 pickup up to the top of the hill.
Yeah.
By the end of next week around here, you know. Oh yeah, we can build this deal. Like it's amazing to me the shit that got developed during that deal for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
You know? I saw a great video the other day, and of course, through tractor pulling, Allison aircraft engines amaze me. I love them. So, you know, the Europeans have the Merlin, which is basically a knockoff of the Allison, kind of, sort of, with a few improvements. So a bunch of those planes wouldn't have flown without those badass engines anyway. But they can't produce them because they're, you know, Europe and they're getting bombed to shit and so on and so forth. So they bring them over here like, hey, we need you guys to make these. So they bring them over there. So they bring them to Detroit, basically, to the auto manufacturers. And they're like, hey, you guys got to make these. Okay, cool. We can do that. But all their, you know, they had stupid thread, you know, Whitworth and all this British pipe and just a bunch of dumb shit because that's what Europeans do. And all their tolerances were like, well, it's plus or minus this, but it's all hand fit because they don't do mass production. And then they bring in guys like Henry Ford or, you know, his team engineers, GM guys or whatever. Like, no. Like this piston has to fit any engine block we put it in. It's got to fit all of them. Mm-hmm. So they have to decide what tolerances are critical and to what level and transfer all these dimensions into thread that we can make that's good, that's useful, so on and so forth. Like a huge, massive project that we knock out in like no time flat, which we couldn't pull off in a month of Sundays now.
No.
Yeah, like,
no.
You know, it just, the shit like that is what really amazes me about World War II. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it is amazing. I mean, yeah, we talk about the Germans, how they knock shit out. I mean, we did too. I mean, we were producing shit like a motherfucker. We were producing
shit. That's what I always laugh. I mean, obviously I'm not a John Deere guy, but I always laugh. I'm like, what John Deere contributed to the war effort? Oh, they tried to put these 2 steel plates in the front of a 2-cylinder John Deere. And we're like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Hey, this is stealth mode. You guys got to be quiet. So we're going to take this fucking John Deere G.
Yeah.
Nobody will hear that.
Yeah. Now, we'll just give the guy on a horse a shield. He'll be just as well off. Like, yeah.
Beat your plowshares into shields.
Yeah. Thanks, John Deere. Really appreciate the help, but we're good.
Yeah, that is funny. You know, International Harvester, all these people making M1 Grands.
Yeah.
They ain't got no John Deere M1 Grand, not that I know of.
Like, to my knowledge, like the only effort they put in was they literally shielded up a John Deere 2-lunger and like, what do you guys think of this? Like,
yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're okay. Like, if we get to that point, like the war's probably lost. Like we're probably done.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's like, yeah, we appreciate the effort, but no, we're good.
Yeah, we'd be more than willing to compensate you for the 10 minutes of effort you put into this.
Exactly. Thanks for grabbing 2 pieces of sheet steel, bending them around your already shitty tractor that was already outdated at the time. Yeah, thanks. I realize you guys are trying to get rid of these things, but no, we're good.
We don't need to blow them up. It'll be fine.
Yeah. We're gonna fund the inflatable army over here that we're gonna fake the Germans out with blow up balloons. That seems like a better
Which
effort.
actually was fucking ingenious.
And worked great.
It did.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd like to have a bunch of those at my house.
I would too.
You're driving by some random Sunday morning. Does Nick have an entire battalion in his yard? Just some balloons.
Yeah, I remember seeing that shit on the History Channel. You know, a guy'd walk down a row of tanks, he'd just flip them over with one hand because they were just like bounce houses, just inflatable. So
genius idea.
Oh, it was, absolutely.
Yeah. You weren't doing that with a 2-lunger, Tony.
I wonder which items get green lighted. Like, you know, that guy had to be nervous as shit taking that to the upper command. Hey, why don't we just get a bunch of balloons?
Yeah.
Blow them up. It's like, are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah. You know, his buddies were making fun of him. Like, you're seriously going to tell the general that this is what we ought to do? He's like, well, it's the best idea we got. Yeah.
Surprisingly, it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, you know his buddies were sitting back there at the campfire being like, this guy's getting ready to get fired. Like, he's going to be digging latrines here in a minute.
Exactly. But yeah, you wait and see. All the John Deere guys are going to flame us now. Well, they had to build all the farm machinery so everybody could keep farming back home. There'll be some excuse, just like they always have.
There'll be a reason.
Advertise your weakness.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can't fix it, feature it. That was literally their motto.
That's about right.
That's a fact.
Of course, if they would have built shit for World War II, they'd have to have 25 pips on every fucking plane and thing that they built. Oh, you got them $1 grand won't eject? Oh, yeah, there's a pip on that. Yeah, you have to bring that in.
Yeah. We got dealer networks all through Europe, though. It'll be fine.
Exactly.
Just swing by.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it is funny you didn't hear about them doing shit. I'm not saying they didn't. Maybe they done.
If they did, they keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Ford was a big one. Alice Chalmers obviously did a ton of stuff for the.
Ain't it funny though how it all stacked up like with Henry Ford and the people like inventing assembly lines or mass production, that we called it. How that actually come to fruition during World War II, where we could actually fucking build shit, fast.
I mean, I forget what the numbers were when he agreed to start building planes or whatever, but he produced tenfold more than they thought they could get done, or than what they were hoping for. Yeah, genius of a guy on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. They shouldn't be discounted. I mean, as much as we talk about how the Germans produced, we produced a fucking shitload of stuff here too.
Yeah, produced a lot. Of course, we weren't getting bombed either, which helps.
Yeah, that helps a bunch. I mean, which makes it more impressive for the Germans.
Yeah,
too.
But we were doing a lot with women who'd never been in the workforce either.
Yes, agreed. Absolutely.
All the men were all fighting the war, and women got shoved into the workforce, which, as a society, ended up screwing us over long term.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I wish I would have asked my grandparents so many more questions now. And every year as I get older, there's more stuff I should have asked them. And just simple bait, like not personally. My grandpa was in World War II, not the personal side per se, but what was the atmosphere in the U.S. during the war? Like, is everybody on edge, or is it okay? Like what's the vibe?
Yeah, like during the Cold War, were you guys thinking about building a bunker in the 50s?
Yes, exactly.
Of course, in rural America, probably not too worried about it, but still.
But I know Mom and Dad talking about the drills they'd have at school, which I'm assuming was at a national, just all the schools done it. Like
it's a blanket rule.
Yeah.
Like the tornado drills we did, which literally would get you killed if you did that in a tornado.
Exactly.
Let's lay in the hallway and get in the one position where if I drop a 5-pound brick on your back, it cracks your spine.
Yeah.
Great plan.
Exactly.
Great plan. I'll never forget. We were at a basketball tournament when I was in high school. This big storm comes through Evansville, Indiana. And literally, our entire team is in the, that must not have been a common deal everywhere, because we're all in the huddle position. There's a tornado coming through, and it did come through. So we're all huddled down. Your cousin and I, just hands over our heads like we're supposed to be knelt down in this hallway, just dumber and shit. And then the storm goes through, it passes in, then here comes all the kids from T-Town. They walked through the storm. They were running late. They got sidetracked.
Probably pouring some concrete somewhere.
Pouring some concrete. They come walking in, carrying their shoes, barefoot, soaking wet, But they didn't have to huddle down. Like, we can't play because our backs hurt now. They can't play because their shoes are wet, Like,
yeah.
Here, take my shoes.
Exactly.
I'm going to do some stretches, try to get my back loosened up.
Yep.
Yeah, the old drills. Get under your desk. Really, you think this chintzy ass
with a piece of desk?
Because we were the tail end of the good desks. Like, we had good desks in grade school till like probably the 4th grade.
Yep.
And then it went to those cheap pieces of shit. Like, that thing's not stopping.
Yeah. Literally, if you left a stack of books on it, fucking turned the desk over.
Yeah, it fell over. Yeah.
Yep.
Not balanced that low.
No.
Yeah.
But that would have been scary in Europe during World War II, though.
Oh my God.
All that shit getting bombed, on a daily basis. That would have been a bad deal.
It's funny how you think about one thing and you don't realize the consequences or so on and so forth with it. Like, my wife's grandpa would occasionally have a flashback, according to her, and he'd be like, "Sniper," and he would like wig out a little bit. And my wife, for the longest time, was like, he was a telephone guy. Like, why is he, like, you're a telephone guy. Like, why are you having these episodes? Then you see Enemy at the Gates, and you realize the telephone guys were at the front.
Yeah.
And they're stringing wire along, and they're getting shot at by snipers all the time. It's like, then it clicks, makes sense. Like, because those guys didn't talk about any of that.
Of course, by then it was what we would call radio man. Like in Vietnam, wasn't the life of a radio man like 3 seconds? Like,
it wasn't very long.
You wanted to take him out so he couldn't call in air support. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, cut off communication.
Absolutely. You see that movie, and it's like, well, those guys have got to roll the wire.
Yeah.
And you're going to go from here to Shelbyville.
Yep.
String this wire.
Yep.
Trying to get shot. Okay. Well, we'll try real hard, but no guarantees.
I wonder today, say a giant war, just like World War II, would break out today by today's standards, and so we got to mass produce shit here. Like, the mind-boggling part is back then, everything from a dishwasher in your house to you name it was made of quality. Like, it's good quality. Like, is all of our shit going to be made of plastic now and just cheap pop metal that fucking folds? I mean,
no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. And you look at all those old train toys.
Yeah.
Those things never broke. They got thrown away because they took up an entire room.
Exactly. You pick up the engine, it weighed 9 pounds on it.
Nobody had room for them at some point in time. Like, we don't need we don't have room for 2 sheets of plywood to have this train track set up. We're going to scrap this deal. But they never broke.
No, hell no. No. Nope. I mean, Tonka trucks, any of that shit we had as kids was...
Yeah. I mean, I took my brother's advice when my kids were young. I just started buying collectible tractor toys and tearing them out of the box and handing them to them.
Yeah.
Because the cheap plastic ones didn't make it 2 minutes.
No.
So you might as well buy a cast iron Magnum. It'll at least make it a couple of months.
Yep.
Sure, you get $50 for it. You could have bought the other one for 20, but you didn't have to buy
deal.
3 of them.
I always opened all my toy tractors. I never left shit in the box just because I wanted to play with it. It's like, are we really having a consignment sale to sell all this shit? You're going to keep it your whole life. So
and then somebody else is going to sell it.
Yeah. So just get it out and play with it. Who cares?
Yeah. I'll never forget you telling me that one of your favorite things to do was tear the plastic off the seat of a new new combine or sprayer or whatever it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like not having sex with your wife to save her for the next guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
How many people buy new trucks and put seat covers in as soon as they get it?
Yeah.
Stupid. Enjoy it.
Might as well use them up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You paid all this money for this whatever seat you wanted.
Yeah.
And now you're not even going to use it.
Yeah. I bought leather, but now I'm going to put this vinyl cover over or cloth or whatever it is.
Yep. I should have asked Bill Reekman when he dropped this tractor off. If you got a combine set in there, same condition, same hours, and this one's got plastic on the seat, do you give the guy more for it or not? Because I'll bet the answer is no. Because I think most of that just goes off of hours and condition.
Have you ever tried to run a tractor with plastic on the seat?
Oh, it's terrible.
That is miserable.
Yeah. It's a heated seat for sure. Your ass will sweat.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you're going to tear that off pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, man, I know a ton of guys that have never took the plastic off, ever.
I had a guy tell me one time, if the plastic's off the seat, I'm trading it. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, good for you.
More power to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, not looking to do that.
No, not at all. No, I do put seat covers on my old truck occasionally. Just because if I got to hop in it and go to someplace better, like a wedding or something, I'll be in a dress post or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't have grease, in the seat that I can't get out or whatever, ruins your shirt or whatever. But
yeah.
But yeah, but they don't last very long.
Yeah. I think, did we talk about this with Josh and them last weekend? Like, where America would be if we built quality shit nowadays. I think maybe we did. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think we did. Maybe that kills it because maybe if this stuff lasts too long, maybe you never buy it again. I don't know.
Does that actually kill jobs because we only need to build 1 million Tonka trucks a year?
I don't know. It's probably goes both ways. Oh, it costs twice as much. Honestly, I think the price of quality stuff got skewed to the incomes didn't go up as much as the price of quality goods. So we end up buying cheap shit with the minuscule amount of money that we make proportionally to how it should be. And we just keep buying new ones,
Yeah. And man, I'm not wired that way. I would just soon buy good shit and be done with it.
It goes back and forth too, though. Like you posted that video about the TVs. The TV was $2,000.
Yeah.
$2,000 on a TV now would be as big as this shop.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I can't say. I mean, the old ones lasted a long time, but they weighed a metric ton. I mean, shit, you couldn't do anything with them. You couldn't,
and they did
rearrange in the living room.
Right, and they eventually did quit. I remember Mom and Dad having a TV or two quit when we were kids, which were old TVs at the time, and it quit. And you think as a kid, well, go get a new one. Well, I didn't realize the son of a bitch cost a quarter of your fucking household income.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know.
I mean, that's why if you remember back in the day, you got this VCR, and you didn't know what your dad paid for it.
Right.
But you had to buy a tape rewinder because you're going to wear the VCR out. It's like, okay, like the VCR rewinds. Like, why did we? Well, then you realize the VCR was $700.
Right. The rewinder was $50.
Yeah, so you understand why they're using a rewinder.
Just like your dad always said with the electric windows.
Yeah.
Fucking thing's only going to go up.
So many times. That is one thing that has gotten way better. Like I remember being a kid, and if a car had electric windows, like you're like, well, especially, and that I realize I'm not a GM guy, but like you go through a drive-through and it's like, oh, this guy's got a GM or a Dodge, like, and Ford had trouble with it too, but they got to open the door to talk through the drive-through because the electric window had quit.
Yep.
They have gotten better in that regard. I had a truck in the shop here a while back, and I usually always roll the windows down or roll the window down so that I don't lock the keys in the damn thing because you never know.
I'm the same way. I always crack a window.
Like I just do. And I hit the button, and this thing goes pretty good for about 4 inches, and then it's like, and I'm like, oh shit. But just stop there. I can reach through there to get to the button if I have to. Yeah. I go to roll it up. It's like, do. I'm like, oh shit.
Yep.
Those windows were about spent. It was the same vintage as my truck, and mine go up and down pretty good. I don't know what was going on with this thing, but I'm like, the last thing I want to do is have to pull the door panel off this thing and fix the damn window.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Has electronics really made life easier? And so let's just use windows for an example. Okay, so we had the old crank, my old 78 years, got cranks on it.
Yep.
I mean, you don't have to be Hulk Hogan to crank that. Like, it's not a lot of effort to do that. No. I mean, you're going to burn a 16th of a calorie rolling the window up and down. But you know what? Same original windows, never failed once since 1978.
Nope.
Still there, good shape, probably last another 50 years.
Yeah.
But these electric ones, sure, it made it easier, but how much fucking trouble do you have over the course of a lifetime? And maybe people don't keep vehicles long enough now to fucking care because
like
it's fucking
be the next. The original ones were horrible. Like they were just
they were always the chrome plated,
in the early 80s when electric windows come out, those things were shit. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't have enough power. It's like
they were noisy as hell.
They had no idea how much power apparently it took to roll a window up and down. They used the bare freaking minimum.
Yep.
You know, they always cause trouble. Got to grab the top, pull it up.
Yep.
Of course, some dipshit at GM didn't put a frame over the top of the window. So if you got going 60 mile an hour, the windows fell out of the damn car. You know, it had a 3-inch gap. That's handy. But yeah, it is amazing on that. But to the point that I'm still scared, you know, like my kids, hell, they'll roll all the windows down, the sliding glass, all that shit. I'm like, God damn, don't touch any of that. That shit may not go back, you know?
Exactly. I always like the cars, and I ain't been in a ton of them, but a buddy of ours got an old pickup truck. I think it's a mid to late 50s with obviously crank windows, but literally like two cranks, the windows either up or down. Like you're not cranking the pit. Like it's
hell of a ratio.
I mean, it's...
Our 69 Charger, the back windows roll down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No
Which
kidding.
I always thought was neat as shit as a kid.
Yeah.
It's a little triangle window. You roll it right down.
No kidding.
Yeah. Dad rolled his down. You had to roll yours down. That way it was all open. You know?
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that electronics have helped and all that. I mean, kind of, sort of, maybe. But it also baffles me how companies struggled so much on doing all that. It's like you get an 80s Ford with power locks. You know where the power lock switch is at? Right where your knee hits the door panel.
Really?
You can lock your keys in that thing 100 times a day.
Yep.
Like it's in the world's worst possible spot.
Yep.
It's like nobody thought that we could just put this.
Yep.
I guess it was easier to put it where they put it than put it up out of the way.
Yep.
You know, but I don't know. They struggled with that at some level.
Yeah. I sat here and look at this 8200 tractor, and there's enough electronics on it, but I think you would agree it's not overwhelmed with
it's not overwhelmed.
It's about right. It's
don't
creature comforts.
Don't want to go any further than that necessarily. Yeah.
But man,
I mean, I like the electronics, but like some of that's so intimidating. If you haven't been in, well, let's take your wife's van for example. I drove it the other day. I haven't been in a van outside of your red van in quite a while. Haven't driven a van in even longer. I don't have a ton of new vehicle stuff in general in my world. You get in there, that thing's got a sensor for this. A whoop-de-doo for that. Like, all this stuff.
It is. It's like I can't even change the blower speed on the air conditioning or heat. Like you got to push 6 buttons on the touch screen.
And I'm trying not to touch shit anyway, right? Like, cause I'm driving at a short distance. I don't need to, turn back massagers on to make this trip, right?
Yep.
But it's like, oh shit, what's that? What's that noise? What's that? Oh shit, that, you don't want to get it has a backup camera, but I'm a mirror guy. I'm going to look behind me, so on and so forth. I don't want to get too accustomed to that. What if that quits? I'm not used to this. You put it in reverse, the mirrors tilt.
Yep.
Oh shit, what's going on now? Like it does all these things. And it's like, I was just amazed it got it in gear because it's a
push button,
some weird switch. You know, it's like, But once you get accustomed to all that stuff, it's fine. But
it was cool. So like my old 78, which mine actually don't do it, but when we were 16 run around, everybody had one of those. If you got in it and took off 60 miles an hour down the highway and you started hearing this screeching sound, you knew it was probably one of the wing windows, like it needed a piece of cardboard full of it.
Absolutely. Because somebody sit there and click the damn window.
Exactly, because it only had so many clicks.
So many clicks. You want to drive my brother up the wall, hop in one of those and start clicking his window.
Right.
Yeah, that's an ass to it.
But, back then, it was so simple that you knew the sounds, even if it wasn't your vehicle. Well, that's just this. Boy, now you get it, like, well, fuck. I mean, does the shock fall off? I mean, what sensor's bad? Like, nobody knows nothing.
But mine was driving his newer truck in the snow the other day. And it's sending all these collision sensors off left and right because it was one of those slushy ones that kind of sticks to the vehicle.
Yep.
Like it wasn't froze out, but it was kind of right there on the edge of being freezing. He's like, I could never made it home.
Oh, that's one where your mud flaps twice as wide with ice and tall. Yeah,
he's like, thank God I shut all that sensor shit off. He's like, otherwise this thing been slamming on the damn brakes, telling me I'm getting ready to get in a collision. He's like, I'm just driving down the road, it's fine.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know that I need all that shit. When my wife's car, the alarm kicks on, there's some big bar across the screen that kicks all these yellow lights on. Oh, that's a ragweed. A car's not hitting me at an intersection. That's somebody that didn't mow their fence road.
Exactly.
Like, calm down.
Yep. Once again, the 20%, because nobody in New York City seen a ragweed. Like,
exactly.
Shut her down.
Yeah. But you drive it on a country road, get past a high fence row, it's telling you you're getting ready to get smoked by a train.
Yep. I'll admit, I like the electronics too. I'm not saying I don't, but it's got too far for me. It's like some of this shit, we're just making shit up now at this point. I don't need anything.
I like them when they work, and it never leaves well enough alone, so it changes every model year or whatever. Like, so if that's not what you always have or it's not what you're used to, half those features never get used. Like you go rent a car, you get off an airplane somewhere, go rent a car, it's got all this shit. You're not turning any of that shit on. You don't even know what it does, how to turn it on.
It's like my wife's van. Tonight, you and her went somewhere, and she was showing you on the door, which is nothing new, but her setting, you push number 1 on the door and that moves the seat and the mirrors and all that shit. Yeah. Mine's number 2. I never think to do that when I get in. So as soon as I get in, the seat's scrunched forward. I don't think to hit number 2. I just reach down and slide the seat back. Yeah. So once again, it's a feature that's not getting used. I suppose maybe people more simple-minded than me are going to use it, but I just don't.
I use it in my wife's car because mine's number 2, and I hit the button, I slide it back, whatever. But when I was driving hers, I'm like, I'm obviously not going to program my settings into her car. But so every time I get out and I go to get back in, it slides the seat forward. So I got to stand next to it, slide the seat back because I physically can't get in it to slide it back. Right. It's not like the old days with the bench seat where you basically have to have you and a buddy to slide the seat.
Yes. Yeah, because they're getting all cockeyed.
It gets all cockeyed, Nothing would piss my dad off more than to hop in a truck. My brother drove it and he'd slide the seat forward. Oh, he'd be furious.
They'd slide forward good, but
back? They'd slide forward great, but back, of course, there's always shit behind the seat and it would fall down.
Yep.
And then now it's in the way and I'm going to weld this damn thing and the tilt wheel, so on and so forth. Like, just leave it up. Yeah.
To me, on this new stuff, it's the little shit that pisses me off. So my GMC truck out here, it's an '08 model, nothing fancy. And I was going to move my dozer though. They had it up on a farm, going to take it to another farm. So it had been cold. So I went up there and of course, naturally it wouldn't roll quite fast enough. So I'll just put the jumper cable on it and get it started. No big deal. It's typical. It sits right in the very back. When you pop the hood, it's in the very back facing the truck. Now this would be opposite of direction of travel, but facing the truck with the hood open, very back left corner. And to get to the positive negative, they put a great big circle brace right there. So you can get on the positive just fine. The negative's a fucking joke, which I would rather it be that way because I always just clamp it to some random bolt or whatever. But you got to take this brace off and all this shit to get the battery out. It's like, who the fuck?
I was just talking to Hondo about this because I told him, I said, I should have started my one truck up while weather was warm because I don't drive it in the salt. Because in my opinion, once a vehicle's been driven in the salt, it's pretty much shot. So I don't ever drive my good truck in the salt. But I'm like, well, if the battery goes dead, I might be screwed because a buddy of mine, when his relatives passed away, there was a time frame in there. They went to get his truck out. Battery was dead. Key wasn't cut correctly. Couldn't unlock the door.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, where I park my truck, I would have to shove it back physically to put the battery charger on to charge it up. I mean, I think the key works. But obviously the keyless entry wouldn't work, but you could unlock it and charge the battery up. And he was telling me his sister had a car at one point in time. It was a Dodge Charger, I think. The battery's in the trunk. Trunk won't open without power.
Oh, Jesus.
Same deal. So we had to crawl underneath it and put the jumper cables on the starter to charge it up so that they could pop the trunk to charge the battery to start the car. Just shit like that just burns.
Why
me.
doesn't every car have like a modern? So this tractor is a '95 model. It's got the great big bolt clamp right there. You can just clamp the positive on that and put the negative on any. Why don't vehicles have that? Why has nobody ever thought of that?
I don't know. And my other bitch to that is, and I realize there's usually a frame bolt somewhere, but I'm like, they'll give you the positive, but the negative is up to you. Find a spot.
Yeah.
How about we just put them both there?
Exactly.
Like newer Deere stuff infuriates me. Like get this really nice magnetic battery cover, which is great. Pops right off, but you can't touch the batteries, and you can't get them out of there.
Yeah.
Without a
Taking the
chainsaw.
cab off. Yeah.
Yeah. And once you get a telehandler in here and get the cab off, well, then you can get the batteries out. Like, you know the batteries are going to go get. You know they are.
Yeah.
My brother had a work car at one point in time. Battery went dead at the farm show in Louisville. Per the book, you're supposed to pull the tire off.
To get to the battery.
To get the battery out of it. We got it off, and thank God we had a trailer full of tools because we had the pulling tractor down there. But otherwise, we'd have been shit out of luck.
That just instantly infuriates me. This.
That was the same vehicle that the horn stuck on. Was a Dodge Journey.
Nice.
The horn stuck on. You talk about a dealership that wanted to work on something fast. They wanted that thing out of there. The horn was stuck on. The whole time. They were dying to get that thing fixed. The fastest return I've ever seen on a vehicle at a dealership. They wanted it out of there.
Yeah, I could see that.
And he hadn't hit the horn or anything. Like he literally turned it on one day, the horn stuck.
No kidding.
That's what it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's somehow tied into the radio. Like the radio would go full blast and the horn would come on just randomly.
Really?
But yeah, super awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just cannot help but think there ain't just going to be fucking acres and acres of vehicles that are being made new right now, sitting somewhere.
What happened to all the COVID vehicles?
Exactly.
We had racetracks just full of all these
airport.
They don't have chips.
Yep.
Airports full of them. Did they scrap all those? Because you never saw some discount sale for this 2-year-old, just 2019 vehicle that was set on a lot. Like you never saw that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that whole deal was a shant. Not to go with the vehicle deal. I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't know where they all went.
No,
we got one chip, and we're transferring vehicle to vehicle. We're going back to the plant, and we're driving them back.
Yep.
We go to the plant, and we're driving them over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cash for clunkers. Fuck this country blind.
Absolutely. Yeah, get rid of a bunch of cool old shit.
Yes, it did. Yep. I don't mind having the old 78 around just for the simple fact that I don't think the government can shut it off at a whim. But
hopefully not.
Anything after
an EMP might take it out.
An EMP would probably take it out, but anything other than that, man, I tell you what, you get to about the year 2000, I ain't too sure. Or anything with OnStar for sure they can shut off.
Absolutely.
And maybe a little bit before that even.
Yeah.
But
yeah, which seemed like a complicated solution to a problem that Ford solved with the 6 buttons on the side of the car.
Right.
I'll just call in, they'll unlock my vehicle. Or you could just have these 6 buttons, you type your code in and you're good.
Yeah.
But they're, again, a feature people never use. Like a good buddy of mine, I'm like, just type your code in. We trying to figure out what he's going to do with his keys. We were going horse riding or whatever. I'm like, just leave him in there and lock the door. Well, I don't know the code. You had the truck for 4 years. Well, I don't know what the code is. How do you not know what the code is? You can program it to anything you want. I never did it. Yeah. Give me a minute. I'll program my code into the damn thing. You know, like,
yep.
Yeah.
That's what always killed me by one GMC, or actually they both may have it. The OnStar in the rear view mirror, which I don't subscribe to OnStar, but it was just there, you know. So it's got the blue button, I think, which goes to OnStar. Then it's got the red cross fucking button. Apparently, if you want to give blood, you push, the fucking EMTs come on. But I'm always sitting there thinking, okay, so I cartwheel my fucking truck through a field and roll it 9 fucking times. The fucking rear view mirror's laying 100 feet behind me, so I'm going to walk back there, maimed to death, and push the button.
Push the button. I'll be right all over it. Yeah, I'm on it.
Exactly. Just stupid.
Yeah. All those features that seem great at the time, but functionality maybe not that great.
Is that still a thing? Like, I don't hear nothing about OnStar anymore. Is that still a thing? Like,
I don't think it is now.
Really?
It was a big deal for a while. They advertised the shit out of it, but honestly, the only commercials that are on TV now are for pharmaceuticals.
That ain't
I
no
saw
shit.
one the other day. It's like, well, you might have this small rash. Take this medicine. Now you're going to die of a stroke, leaky butt, a heart attack, so on and so forth. Like the symptoms or the side effects are way worse than the
symptoms.
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like I don't think I want that.
Yeah, they all cause anxiety and depression and everything.
Constipation and diarrhea. Now, which is it?
Exactly.
You know? Like, yeah.
At least they've shut down the female plumbing products on
Oh,
TV.
my gosh.
I ain't seen a lot of that lately.
Thank goodness. that was getting out of hand.
I mean, do you really have to advertise maxi pads? Like, I think that's a necessity. Like, you're going to go buy whatever's on the shelf at this point.
Like you need it.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think anybody's just been some 40-year-old old woman didn't decide. Hey, but I didn't know they made anything for this.
Exactly. I always ran always, but I'm going to go to this other. Yeah. Like, you're just buying whatever's on the shelf. Like, calm down. Like, it's fine.
I never knew they made anything like this. Yeah. I think you're well aware of the situation, and you're buying the supplies accordingly. Yeah. I don't think we need to advertise for it.
Yeah.
Like that and ED.
Yeah, exactly.
At one point in time, every commercial was ED or female plumbing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they backed off on the purple pills, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't see much of that anymore.
No.
Either, which I think a lot of that they're targeting their audience that's up and coming, like the young kids nowadays. They're just going to text and whatever else. Like,
they don't need one because they're not using it anyway. Yeah, there's going to be a massive population decline here, as I can tell.
Yeah, it's amazing, the pharmaceutical commercials, just even whether it's on social media, whether it's on TV. I mean.
Yeah, so you got a pimple on your left butt cheek, take this pill. I mean, sure, your right leg will fall off.
Yeah, exactly.
But your pimple will go away.
Your
acne's cured. Yeah, great plan.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Man, that is a river of dirty money on that deal, too.
Absolutely.
God damn.
Which probably had a lot to do with the Afghanistan war.
I would think so, yeah. Kind of how that works.
Yeah. Poppy Field's very profitable.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. You ever seen Ozark? They were very profitable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I just got done watching Ozark for the second time. Probably finished up 2 weeks ago. That was a good series.
Yeah. I've seen a little bit of it. Kelly and I started it, but we didn't get very far through it.
Yeah, you should watch it. You'd like it. For once, I've seen something that you haven't for fucking the first time in history.
Yeah, I got to dig into it.
You'd like it. It's good.
Have you ever seen Homeland?
I have not.
My wife loves that. It's a CIA-based deal in the Middle East, so on and so forth. So have you seen the guy on TikTok that was a former CIA agent? He's older than us, and it's like telling the real things that happened over there, so on and so forth. I can't think of his name.
Oh, actually, yes. I think I have seen that guy now that you mentioned that.
Does really good interviews. It's very interesting. He got put in prison for a little while.
Yep.
And like some mob boss kept him alive, basically. But he said that's the most accurate series of all those.
Really?
Is that one's the closest to the truth of what was actually happening there.
I'll be dang.
Yeah.
I need to find a new series. Like, I just told the wife tonight, I said, which we've canceled a bunch of shit, but we used to have YouTube, TV, all that. So basically now we got Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus, I think, for the kids. Which I don't go to Disney Plus, but like Netflix, can't find nothing, fucking seen it all.
Yeah.
I think we got Amazon Prime. Well, fuck, anything on there you got to buy. It's like, well, what's the point in this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I told her, I'm ready to switch it up, cancel all this shit, and I'll pick up a couple new ones now.
Yeah.
Which is still a fucking sham. This whole TV deal.
Oh, it's a joke. Yeah. We were just talking about this earlier tonight. If I want to watch an Illini basketball game, I got to have 15 different apps.
Yep.
Well, they're on Peacock today. They're on ESPN Plus tomorrow. They're on the Big Ten Network. They're on this. They're on that. Crap, you can't watch any of it. You know, even my diehard baseball Cardinal fan friends, like, well, we pretty much quit watching them because it's blacked out here. Can't watch there. Used to be able to get Fox Sports Midwest and watch every baseball game in the Midwest. Now you can't anymore. It's just a shit show. The a la carte thing's turned into about $400 a month. You can watch TV.
It's actually more fucking profitable for them now because you got to subscribe to all the fucking apps.
Yeah.
I had YouTube TV for a couple years and got along fine with it. It was getting kind of pricey, and I'm like, you've been thinking about canceling it. And randomly one morning I woke up, and on there you can get your local channels, right? Like local TV. And I always watch local news every morning. And turned it on, and it had my addresses like Louisville, Kentucky. Well, show me all the local Louisville news, like whatever TV stations there. And I couldn't change it. I go to my settings, I change it, I do that. Like nothing happened. Reset it, all this shit. So I just messaged them. I'm like, well, this is fucking bullshit. You know, and they're like, well, you got to do that. And I'm like, no. I'm like, well, we're fucking way past that. I've already done all that. Fucking cancel the motherfucker. I'm done with it. So I just canceled it. And so, it all come down to local TV's why I canceled it, but I thought it was bullshit. It was an unusable app. Fuck
it's been a few years ago. I don't remember which. I think it was Netflix. Every time my wife and I would turn it on, the subtitles were in Arabic. Well, that's odd. When we'd switch it back, we're like, well, what's going on with this thing? Somebody had scammed her deal to the point that they changed the profile pics, the preferences, and all that.
No shit.
Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever it was. which was a monumental effort to get switched back.
Jesus.
It was a huge big deal. Somehow or another, she finally got a hold of somebody, and of course they had to none of the instructions were in English then.
Yep.
And it ended up being a process, but she finally got it switched back, changed her password, blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, for the longest time, we're like, man, we'd switch the subtitles back. Well, then you get to looking through previously watched or whatever. And it's like, none of us have watched that. And like I said, to the point that they made their own profiles on our account. And it's like, okay,
really?
Yeah, something squirrely is going on here. So she finally got it switched up, but it was like a day and a half worth of email and blah, blah, blah and bullshit to get it switched back.
So who's making all the money on the fraud? Is it your McAfee's and all these people with the anti-fraud systems? You cannot tell me that they can't stop most of this shit.
You would think so.
There is no fucking way that it should be this far out of hand.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. The virus thing is nuts. Yeah. Such a pain in the ass. I get so tired of those pop-ups.
It's just every fucking day it's something else getting stolen here, stolen there.
Yeah.
And I don't buy that for an instant. I guarantee you Donald Trump, Nancy Pelosi, all them, they're not getting their shit ripped off.
No.
I'll fucking promise you that.
No.
So I want what they got. Whatever security they got, that's what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
But it just on and on and on.
Every day. Every single day.
Well, I don't know how long this podcast is, but it's long.
It's long.
And
that should get most people to where they're going for the holidays.
It should. If it doesn't, you should have taken an airplane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because every time we stop to take a piss, which you guys don't even know when we do that, it resets the counter here. So we're at 31 minutes and 34 seconds on this one, but we've done that
several times.
Yeah. So it's got to be pretty late. But
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Drive safely where you're going.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else outside of that. I mean, just watch out for
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Watch out for
the towel heads in the semis and women with their feet up in the seat and whatever else we talked about. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But anyway, it'll probably be first year for you guys see another one. Holidays coming up, it's going to get busy for us. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.